Well, that's a very blunt question.
France is lying to you.
Friends and neighbours, and have confidence that the team will keep you safe.
But now you start to see it.
Hello，
Never happy. It's never enough.
Hello 二奶，好似無端端 M 痛，跟住頭嗰陣，而家又好啲，冇乜嘢，唔知做乜突然間好痛，應該都差唔多 M 嚟，但係但又未嚟喎，但係又好痛，唔知做乜。休息下冇嘢咯，所以晏咗啲開台，好繼續。有冇開盒嘢食啊？係啊，我今日開咗啦，好靚個盒嘢，裏邊包裝都好靚，跟住好香檸檬味，但係甜咗啲咁嘅咯，都啲正常嘅，出邊買咯，冇乜可能唔甜。本身甜都係一個防腐劑嚟噶嘛，整得甜啲係正常。佢冇可能整得唔甜。
好勁檸檬味喎。
咦，我開始㗎啦，等陣先，先進到唔滯。哇嚇！運動球。妖！
見過兩個啦，係嘛？
咩嚟呢個？
冇揀㗎啦。
西角路啦嚇！咦，下邊又壞咗嘅喂！得 A B 喎。點算啊？有冇人打俾我？咦，冇人打俾我嘅？
Jenny?
冇人打俾我嘅？
I'm sorry, Kat, you're gonna have to leave.
冇人打俾我喎。
Letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded me.
10 seconds,
That's all
everybody.
part of a team.
準備。
Stop being so high-mighty and do your job.
We'll have me fine too.
3.
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
嚇？
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
揀咗啊！
What are your
Oh my God,
reactions to
no.
the sanctions? Waffles fucking outrageous. My mind
Wait,
is
me-
哎呀死！
I'm supposed to get a transition. What's the
妖！
government doing about it? Hey?
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff.
真係要睇佢內
Popular
容。
Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing
先進黨。
short of outrageous. We are a
咩
democratic
誒誒
massive popular support. We do not recognize these sanctions, and we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them.
喂，
Advanced
冷靜
struck。fear into the heart of the international
喂
community by showing that it is possible to have
冷靜。
radical change for the betterment of the many.
唔好亂喐，唔好亂喐。
And whilst I wish we could improve other countries
Wait,
as
wait,
much as we
wait,
have
wait,
our
wait.
own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive.
咦
This country is entirely self-sufficient.
我冇睇佢講嘢咧，搞到我。
Now more than ever. And this team is on your side.
啊得，完全冇睇佢講嘢。
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think about?
啊幾好啊，幾好啊，
Robin Short.
幾好啊
found out.
幾有禮貌啊佢。
I was wondering if you could spend a minute.
係咪應該要唔支持你？係咪應該要 B？
Some world checks have made the difference for us with the cost of the little one. And people seem
我驚佢會
happier in the main. I always said things
B
would get better with a woman in charge.
A whole lot of problems.
會唔會
Protests
升
were
㗎
held today
唔小
at
心個
controversial construction
先進黨
site
會
for Remington Smith's physics-defying
今日人
project.
示威。
Since digging straight through the earth began 6 months
哦，就係嗰個
ago,
穿
the
地
project
球
has
嗰
been
個
beset
奇
by
怪
problems, including
奇
localized
怪
tremors
project。
and the
地
heat
震
deaths
喎，
of
高
many
溫
of the
時。
workforce.
Residents of the nearby town of Calamity
啲樓啦。
10幾秒有，睇下先。
sincere if misspelled, placards demanding a suspension of digging until safety checks can be carried out.
Of course, that's half the
正常啊
But
嘛
what does this country think? Patrick.
？Hello Lucky，
What's your opinion of the Moves project?
The stupidest thing I've overheard. What's to stop it, right?
Huh?
Dropping out the other end and just falling forever.
Gravity?
No, it don't exist.
Oh yeah.
咩揾啊？睇唔明。
A frightening staff commuters this morning who were confronted by a somewhat sinister sight as they left their trains.
Many travellers reported feeling intimidated by the
主要地鐵站喺度，一語不發嘅人，一動不動嘅人。
Radical extremist group Disrupt, who organised the show of strength, refused
我覺得幾好啊，
the meaning of the strange protest.
幾好啊！佢又唔係用暴力示威，佢唔喐啫喎。
But
冇
how
問
do
題
you
啊，
feel
幾好
about
啊！
these somewhat radical extremists and their upsetting methods?
我唔覺得佢擾民喎，幾好啊！
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Oh, well, now you're talking. Ruddy
咦，
here,
冇咗字幕嘅
trying
喂。
not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you both feel they're a cause worth supporting?
Oh, Iris doesn't speak online, but we're pretty
字
sure
幕
there's
啊
still
喂
one in there, aren't we, love?
字
Wherever it is, it must disrupt, fighting the yoinks for our freedom. And what could possibly be wrong with
我
that?
頂你啊！冇咗個 freedom 嗰啲嘅，Fight for freedom 我好似聽到係嘛？
Build that wall. Divided
Really?
doctors David Wong and
冇字幕喂。
Organsford today sent an
博士話
intriguing blueprint to the surface for a simple solution to their increasingly isolationist communities.
In an accompanying statement, the pair reported that the current system of a dotted line painted on the floor has proven unreliable, especially after a few drinks.
嚇？
But how
虛
should we
線實
feel
驗
about
隔
sending
離。
instructor materials to this disparate community? Patrick Bannon.
唔中意，
How much help should we give the trapped scientists with
佢又唔俾字幕我
How
啦，
much?
係咪因為啱更新過關
It's
係？
me.
You're right.
做咩打佢？
Applications finally open today for the new advanced team
先進
membership
黨
cards, a
會員
scheme
卡
by the government to allow faster
咪嬲
access
嬲
to
嘅
all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are
又
entirely
要
voluntary,
揀。
but will
廿
be
秒，
recognised as legal identification by all major
No, no.
organisations, including the police
控制我哋嘅自由，頂你啊！呢個根本就係疫嗰個疫苗通行證啦，明唔明啊？
Seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic, but most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new?
團隊會員卡根本就係疫苗通行證。
Team membership cards?
Absolutely bloody not. That's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it, Iris? First it's, can I see your identification, sir? And then it's, would you mind bending over the table, sir? So Sergeant State Educated and Constable Regional Accent here can stick their truncheon up your berry out.
Crikey!
They should call them what they are.
點解唔譯嘅呢
Bloody
一段？
ID cards. Oh, for Christ's sake, what is it, Iris?
I'm really not happy, Algernon!
點解咧？
Crikey!
唔通諗住賣去
And
大陸，
finally
所以嗰段唔譯得？點解嘅
famous attempt to cash
？Hello，
in
李
on
安娜，
their
而家
bad
先
boy
見到你。
status, Shame celebrity Johnny Hamsleeves announced a new line of real ale at a press conference earlier today.
阿
The
姨啤
new
酒，
brew, entitled Headbutt Ale in reference to his controversies of last year, promises a night you'll pretend you regret.
啊
Or possibly a night you'll pretend you remember.
So what should we all think of Johnny's latest attempt to market his
啊
notoriety?
普通啦
Patrick?
賣酒啫嘛。I
Why
don't care.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it will be
I
即係
don't
揀3個
care.
就會出唔同嘅嘢。
I don't
And then we'll both
care.
be chatting with a familiar team of
有片咯喎。
set to take the nation by storm
Perfect.
again.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National Nightly
News.
等先咩嚟㗎呢個？得。喂，冷靜。
開相咯。
上啲，車上。係得，
Tonight, thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
唔記得撳翻過嚟。
The World Council today
Aye.
agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country. The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel, and even some medicines.
Huh?
from national profits.
Tonight, we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation.
封城啊？
Peter Clement is at his home in Lancashire.
邊個
Are you
係？
there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear
第
you,
二號
Jeremy. Thank you for
得
having me.
見到
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
Oh, I don't scare that
唔俾人入口喎
easy.
啲嘢係嘛？佢係咁
Neither
講
do
啊
the，people of this
唔俾
country.
其他嘢入
Well,
口。
joining us is Ivan Vodovich,
做乜入
Foreign
口？
Minister of Urkistan. Ivan,
啊係
thank you for being
，sorry
here.
Great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf,
哎呦，
are like storming stars of
好
labor
緊張
who wake up inside body of crazy, expensive prostitute. In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Okay.
Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these
下邊啊，部長先
how do you
生。
feel about Advance's defiant stance?
Advances like man who
唔係唔係唔係，
Samo.
career in movies.
嗯，我以為係
When actually, he endured
女人嚟㗎先。
screaming at here and holding tiny penis in hand.
唉，
Sven London.
講埋
We
啲
have
廢
like
話。
one
Sale,
of the
sale.
cleanest mental health care facilities in the continent, yeah.
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk. I'm sorry, we don't appear to have your surname.
It's just yeah, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive surnames here, yeah.
Minister?
It's just the idea.
Right, Björk. Your country spoke in favour of Advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise. The hippies didn't show up for the fight.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole like vote thing, yeah. But it's actually the festival of the Eurolands here at the moment, where we honor the old generations. So like we all had to work our grandparents' Galicia whilst the vote was happening, and that's like a really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like a sissy man. You have this expression, sissy man, is like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah,
Oh,
because...
stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
Yeah, he always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
Peter, you're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis.
講廢話啊！
But actually, he discovered that. Oh, could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. Wolves at the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good. They can join others on my wall.
Actually, in Svenland, we have like serious animal welfare legislation. Like my friend Helga, she got arrested for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her Tuesday. I mean, in English, jam sandwich.
I used to know a girl called Jane Sandwich. She was a right cracker too. Wonder what became of her.
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
That's human interest, Jeremy. The real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching, Jan, give us a call. Yeah. Let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Christ, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first, eh?
Peter, you're like man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into homecoming vein. Soon you have tiny penis and beard full of secrets.
In Svenland, we don't really go into all that restricted monogamy stuff here. We're kind of fluid, actually.
Okay. Well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, the people of this country facing shortages and power
Possible shortages and power outages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Björk?
係啊，冇聽到佢講乜。
You all look a bit stupid really arguing about how
即係過嚟睇字幕。
concept like money.
佢本來想講乜嘢㗎？
We replace currency with a system of
佢口誤咗啲乜
back
嘢
in？the 1970s, and that's like a really hard to sanction actually.
Thank you, Minister Vodovich.
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant mutant hairy bear. When really, he's just standing in field
Holding his tiny penis, yes. Thank you, Minister. And finally, Prime Minister Clement.
Let me talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid. Don't even lose a wink of sleep. We knew the rest of the world would react this way, and we're ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie without blocking a few
Beep.
toes.
Thank you.
好彩，好彩聽到啫。
We'll be back.
After these messages.
廣告。
Back.
Hey, Peter, I over your way this weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
OK，
Yeah, sure, front or back.
That's what I hope you're asking Megan Wolf for me.
She's out of your league, mate.
Thank you for the correction.
you have to be more careful.
你啊冇睇到啊！
Long-term plan to get fired live on the news at 6 in front of the nation.
Can someone warn him it's going a little too well?
Hello 葉葉 ，OK 喎。
Hello。
佢做咩喺度攬住隻馬馬？
咁陣間咪入咗
咩廣告嚟㗎呢個？咩？聽下啦。
Don't worry, young professionals. Now there is. Why go
陣間係咪要換擺落去 A 度啊？
我唔知啊。
我換定先啦。
mass transit elevators running through the
未
center
播
of
完
the
嘅。
city. Now you're thinking,
未播完啊。
my mobile orientation operational burrowing service will change the way you travel forever. And construction has already begun. I'm Sophia.
好低能嘅廣告。
And when they tell me it can't be done,
又唔益啦佢，由得佢啦。準備。
邊個啊？
Welcome back.
得
I'm
，OK。
Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jason.
Welcome.
Hi, thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honor to be here on your show, The News. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand you.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died. Died tragically.
我撳過佢，佢又唔講。
There in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she lay there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Well, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about
佢唔讀到喎。
The government. Rock advance.
標啊標。
What is it that you object to so
點解會？
vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah. Nah, of course, man. Very much so. I just mean, like...
反啦反啦，Jeremy。
pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah. I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing. And I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
No? But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of a
Or
like...
maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's dear.
Oh no, I'm gonna do something a little different. So this is what I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
You love it?
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus.
First,
唱歌咯！
you're gonna pay off.
誒1、2、3、4會轉嘅喎。有拍子啦。
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel elation for your participation. Still two leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned. Talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive...
藍色都要㗎。
藍色啊。I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my fucking
藍色都要㗎。
紅色啊？
藍色係咪可以選擇唔揀㗎？可以唔標㗎？ 藍色係咪先進黨嘅壞話？
And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me, but I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise, of the press of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking.
唔瞄呢段，我要出藍色嗰啲。錯晒拍子添。
One's the push and the shove, one's the folks to feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones. Ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley. The ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty. The ones of aspiration, who had to flee a nation. The ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise, of the rest of the way. Cause we're only equal people when we're motherfuckers.
Come on.
Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens, motherfucker.
撳唔撳咧？藍色其實應唔應該撳咧？佢講咩嘅？幫我睇下藍色呢啲講咩嘅。
Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets, set a fire in the building, let them feel some fucking heat. Take your hate to go getters, no squealing bed feathers, and burn them on the
嘢嚟㗎？藍色。
Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it.
啊 ，sorry， 我係咪撳咗啲咩？啲緊啊！
咁正。
咦？ 照嚟啊！胡蘿蔔係啱㗎啦。鬧政府冇啦，升唔到最頂啊！我撳唔切啊！頂。
Jesus there with his new song.
Sorry.
Thank you so
Sorry.
much for joining us,
跌
studio.
咗。
That I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your lyrics.
What? Are you joking?
審查真係啊！啲
Say
審
to
查。
you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe it.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there. Sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot.
好嬲 Jeremy。
Speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their
見唔見到啊？
upcoming
佢嬲到，佢樣嬲到啊！
We'll be right back after this.
That's the ad. Jenny, this is fucking outrageous.
我撳出啦，我撳出講佢啦。
聲
唔緊要啊，好似係我係聽㗎咋。
I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you to
trust me.
leave.
My father's going to hear about this.
I understand. This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
係睇一睇個廣告先。我係咪換咗啦？好，聽廣告。其實你頭先睇唔睇到係嗰一段係乜嘢啊？係鬧政府㗎係咪啊？藍色嗰段，我其實係咪唔應該撳出嚟，定係其實應該俾人聽，定係唔應該俾人聽咧？
我覺得綠色一定就可以出到㗎嘛，紅色先要。
佢頭先話係審查啊嘛，係咪其實綠色係鬧政府嘅嘢？聽下佢哋講乜先。啊，佢哋好密下喎都。
Jeremy, you remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Radin.
What?
Philippa, please.
You're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a lower order demon.
Yes, it is awfully exciting, isn't it?
Right, okay then. We're going live in 10 seconds, opening on camera 1.
10 seconds 呢個先啦。
5,
佢俾咩？冇睇到添。
3.
Welcome back, and no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Radin, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs are akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to the training sometimes. He's actually a very good goal sweeper.
周慧娟
So,
升得好快。
he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, you see. He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did he say?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It's like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
Catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad,
係
you promised
突然間
to
播
come
過
to
嚟
my
係嚇死我。
graduation. I'm sorry, son. You're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my
呢
graduation.
個唔使轉啊
Back, demon! Back to the hells!
Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of
咩事啊？二號
treading
二號咩
the
事？
boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really
cut 少少佢嘅戲入去。
tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or soap opera or
換帽啊！停喺度。
But you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at
Hey.
home will be dying to know exactly
That's all.
what is it that you bring to the show.
Good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm.
瞌眼瞓喺度。
From strength to strength.
absolutely right. Jeff's contributions
底褲啊
immeasurable. He was our rock. Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
Yeah. We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
轉過嚟啦，睇片啦。呀，10分。
You'll never take the sacred path.
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, is actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which frankly would have been a travesty.
係
God, Jesus Christ!
點會跌㗎？
Goodness, and you do this every night.
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
Yeah.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning of my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves? We're performing all over the nation. And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes.
嚇，先進到贊助啦，完全唔使錢嘅。
Thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt you'll have taken our jobs.
Yeah.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get
係咪
reset for
賣
tomorrow,
廣告啊
please.
要？
Hey, we must stop bumping
Well, hey,
into
well.
each other like this, eh?
我撳咗啦 ，A 真係要換喎。咁我而家係咪要換？哎呀，啊完成啦！我仲以為我仲要換多次添。好嘢，第一段完成。咦？呢個時段 A 加喎，幾好喎。
要出去換定廣告。
哇！呢個 E 真係頂唔住，呢個位係咩嚟㗎？
咪
哦，B
唱歌
藍色嗰
咯。
個位係啊，我冇 B，我有啲位有得佢。藍色好似話先進黨，我就係諗緊佢係咪批評政府，因為而家政府係先進黨啊嘛。藍色係咪批評政府？我係咪應該要？你得到了全部工資，現有財富窮光蛋一個 ，PC 上升。我係咪買咗 PC 啊？哎呀死咯！做乜三角眼眼升嘅？我播咗啲咩嘢令佢三角眼眼升啊？
係咪啲廣告定咩？
點解光明會有升嘅？
定乜嘢？
我係買咗 ND 啊 PC 定乜？但係唔係喎，我講呢度寫明分成，我應該係買咗 PC 喎。PC 升係啱嘅，但係點解我會幫咗佢㗎？同埋我係有錢咗喎，點解咧？
個 PC 升嘅就係。
啊，可能係因為 PC 升咗，誒有機會喎。好，繼續。誒，先有跌喎，耶，好啦，換下政黨係啱嘅，我覺得。雖然咧呢個都唔好得去邊。繼續。啱㗎啦，我覺得轉下間唔時就轉下。覺得而家做得嗰個唔好咧，其實另一個都唔好對邊，就要轉下。差唔多1年啊，
去到咁多日嘅。
我翻咗咁多日工都係窮光蛋一個。未來之事的預兆喺制裁發生之前制裁。購物咧，似乎一直都係一件好乏味嘅事。如今咧，又成為咗一件苦差。今日咧，你無法咧購買家裏所需嘅幾乎一切嘅物品。但係為咗度過呢一個禮拜咧，聽日你仲要嚟，人哋咧啲人咧喺度排住隊離開停車場你黑暗中很難弄清楚為什麼點解離開停車場要排隊啊？即係塞車啊！唔理咩原因，希望唔好持續太久。當 當你前面咧最後一架車咧走咗之後咧，你先意識到排隊咧實際上係由於出口處位置咧設置咗檢查站。哎呀，好恐怖啊！我覺得香港就嚟咁噶啦。一個面孔和善嘅男人咧，身穿先進黨嘅制服，然後咧制服上面有好多印住 CCO 嘅字樣，跟行埋你嘅車度，敲敲個車窗，咁你就開車窗。Good evening， 唔使擔心㗎，我只係想知道咧，可唔可以睇睇你嘅團隊會員卡？呢啲卡唔應該係自願辦理嘅咩？對唔住，我冇卡。唔緊要㗎，我哋呢度有表格，我可以幫你註冊啊！佢逼我要做卡啊，隻變態啊！好恐怖啊！呢個國家，男人向佢身後一個穿着類似制服嘅年輕女人示意，佢顯然受到唔公平嘅待遇，只能做文書工作。既然你嚟咗就註冊啦，呢啲卡唔係必須係嘛？唔住。嚴格嚟講，佢哋唔係必須嘅，但係擁有會員卡咧就好多好處噶啦。其實真係好似而家我哋嗰啲即係你買嘢然後申請會員卡嗰啲。其實佢係實際上係攞你資料，但佢名義上就好似係話，哎呀你咁樣儲分有折扣啊，但實際上佢係想知道咧佢啲客戶嘅一個購買嗰個資料啊。究竟咧每一個客咧會幾耐嚟一次買一次嘢咧？佢每次買幾多咧？
咩產品？
係啦，佢通常會買乜嘢？其實佢係想攞呢啲資料。幾多歲嘅人咧會買乜嘢多咧？即係其實類似都係呢啲嘢咯，都係想即係懶係好似對你好嘅，其實就係啦，唔好講啦。
即係申唔申請張卡嚟嘅？
但係咧擁有會員卡好多好處，冇理由咁整。佢嘅微笑消失咗啲，佢舉起一隻手。喺個頸後面拗咗一陣，然後咧就彎低身望住你。佢嘅存在而家有啲恐怖。你覺得啱嘅同我註冊啦，唔使啦，我而家唔要。幾乎喺即刻咧友好嘅態度咧就消失咗啦。佢嘅面咧浮現出一種嚴厲反對嘅表情。我覺得佢好似逼我打針啊！
根本就係
恐怖。顯然咧，我都唔可以逼你打針噶啦，但係我咧強烈建議你咁樣做嘅，而且要盡快啦。我哋咧都唔希望人哋咧會有啲咩，你有咩事隱瞞係咪？人哋係啦，佢退後咗一步，示意你繼續行啦。你比以往咧更加趕翻屋企。你確定咧透過後視鏡見到佢寫咗啲嘢？死啦！我個車牌俾佢抄低咗，我唔打針，因為。顯然咧，先進黨咧非常熱衷於讓大家加入團隊。阿西卡
，Hello，
佢真係意思係要我哋做黨員啊！你明唔明啊？即係發誓入會做黨員，類似係咁咯。一次值得無視嘅邀請。今日咧係星期六，你休息日，你充分咗利用咗呢一日，但係咧就喺傍晚嘅時候咧，書櫃上面咧嗰張邀請函咧。責備咁樣望住你。第一頻道晚會係強制性嘅工作活動，老細咧以極快速度告訴過你㗎啦。另外就話唔可以遲到，冒著咧老細嬲嘅風險咧，可能唔係太明智，都係去參加啦。你已經錯過咗今年嘅結婚紀念日，你唔能夠放棄另一個週末。好似份工好似緊要啲喎，
賣腎啊嘛，
因為我要賣腎喎。如果我唔理份工，但係，我又唔係去 camp 唔緊要啦，嗬。上次去 camp，今次只係一個普通週末啫，係嘛？死啦，去唔去好咧？
你決定啦。
死啦，我去唔去好啊？但係如果我唔去，我驚俾人炒魷喎。死啊！唔會好，係啦。哎呀，但係我覺得好似好對唔住我個老婆。上次我已經冇去噶啦，對唔住啊，我唔想買腎啊。 最好開始做準備啦。你知道阿 Sam 咧唔會送你一程㗎，飲一兩杯咧應該有助於加強辦公室社交活動。希望表現唔會太糟糕啦，畢竟你好擅長工作 ，right？ Bonjour！ 國家新聞之夜，你勉強咁準時抵達咗索瓦尼安，呢個係首都最古老、最豪華酒店之一。哦，酒店嚟嘅，好靚嘅左邊。喺度排隊等候嘅隊伍咧，你好驚訝，好快意識到因為咧門口有個穿着時髦，睇起嚟似好似軍人嘅人喺度對人們進行搜查。哎呀，總之我唔嚟啦！喺等待嘅時候，你不禁注意到呢一棟建築咧好靚、富麗堂皇，好可能咧係你呢一輩子去過最豪華嘅地方。一順從咁接上咗手身，然後鬆一口氣，進入咗酒店。進入咗酒店之後咧，你被帶到一個大宴會廳，你跟隨着指示牌前進，對呢個地方嘅龐大規模有啲驚嘆不已。仲有全副武裝嘅保安隊伍。當你咧最終到達啦門口，一位神情嚴肅嘅女士問你個名，係，我係阿里哈斯Alex Winston。你佢咧簡略咁睇個面，然後咧就名單，然後咧就對旁邊嗰位服務員低聲講咗幾句話。你啱啦，喺開餐前就咗啦。你跟呢個人咧去你嘅餐桌啦。咁咧個服務員咧笑笑打開咗其中一扇巨大嘅雙開門，叫你入去。咁你即刻明白咧為什麼呢度叫大宴會廳啦。你停咗一停，跟住望清楚，好靚咁樣應該。好啦，你感覺到有人拍你膊頭喎，咁啊，然後咧佢示意你跟佢走啦。佢咧就叫你咧坐喺遠離中央樓層嘅一張台旁邊，一半嘅部分喺樓梯下面，你能夠睇到舞台，但充其量咧都受到部分遮擋。咁咧，阿博斯曼咧而家肯定對你唔滿意啦。你咧同一啲同事坐埋一齊，你以前咧係第一頻道，你第一頻道辦公室聽佢哋講過佢哋，但係從未見過面。喺大多數情況下咧，往好了説，佢哋係被認為係懶蟲；往壞嘅講咧，就係即將被解僱嘅人。我係屬於邊類咧？好彩有嚟啫！隨著夜晚嘅繼續，你聽到 Jeremy 得到新聞業傑出貢獻獎。你聽到咧 Megan 咧代表佢領咗獎，Jeremy 冇嚟啊？因為佢冇出席活動，好顯然啦，唔出奇啊。但係咧，由於樓梯下面視野受限，好難睇到啲乜嘢。你仲注意到一名咧社區凝聚事務官喺你哋張台附近徘徊，佢哋似乎同你一樣無聊。飲咗幾杯懷疑好昂貴嘅酒之後咧，你發現咧老細咧喺幾張特定嘅台前講嘢，然後同行睇起嚟好似係首相，
唔係同行
一齊行，睇起嚟好似係首相茱莉亞，即係嗰個女人啊。同埋 Peter 係嗰個男人啊，頭先右上角嗰個講嘢嗰個男人啊，都係首相，唔記得好似。當你咧問 CCO 時 ，CCO 咧就不動聲色咁點頭，證實咗呢一點。咩叫 CCO 啊？
頭先查車嗰班咪件衫寫住 CCO 咯。
哦，但係你可能係問得大聲咗啲。佢哋咧出現讓同台嘅人咧就先進黨同打斷組織嘅優點展開咗一場爭論。喂，譯得唔係咁好，我唔知佢講乜呢句。咩叫打斷組織啊？你贊成先進黨正在讓呢個國家變得更美好，你支持打斷組織及其自由理想，即係呢個係反抗嘅組織啦，係嘛？你不參與政治話題，你好可能咧係飲多咗啦。我支持自由。結果你不由自主咁傾到 比你想象中仲要夜。你等個老婆咧外面等咗20分鐘啊，老婆唔中意啦，唔高興。但係講到尾咧，呢個並唔係一個完全糟糕嘅夜晚。不過咧，你仲係寧願留喺屋企。可能下一次你唔會參加啦。
唔參加就唔會去嗰度。
唔參加，即係下一次冇，應該唔會有下次啦，黐線。我覺得我就死啦，應該。我就死啊！打鑊啦今次。我咁揀法，我覺得我就死。係咪好熱啊？要開喎，似乎。要開 fan 嘅㗎。嚇？
要。
點解咁嘅？喐唔到嘅。過熱。我有啊，我有開喎。對準佢，對準，對哦 ，OK， 我對準嘴㗎。
開機啊！冇咗電話嘅。
係啊，冇咗啊。睇先，運動有冇運動？
啊！你又要播佢啊？
睇先。洗頭水啫，冇政治嘢啊嘛。呢個啱，呢個我㗎。露營啊，啱我啊。娛樂版 B 啦嚇，盡量都係播 A 嘅，係要。呢個唔要，呢個賣嘢嘅。OK。搞掂。A 係我，係咪應該擺 A 係？
C 都仲有一磅喎。
係咩？擺定先。有已經有數字出喎，已經。世界議會對我國實施咗軍隊乜咩？睇唔到？咦？有咩分別啊？
睇唔出喎。
我想撳2。Security 啦係。
兩段有咩分別啊？
屌，唔知有咩分別。頂佢啊！做咩唔出字幕啊？
有咩分別？
我英文麻麻嘅啫，尤其是對政治英文。
We call upon our international allies to condemn this blockade absolutely, and we warn aggressors to this country that we are neither meek nor defenseless. Thank you.
佢講咩啊
Beer in the headlights. Burgeoning brewmeister Johnny Hamsleeves has today launched a new marketing campaign to revitalize the image of his unpopular Headbutt Ale. Adamant that his craft brew could be a commercial success if only he could get in front of the right audience. Johnny's gone to surprising lengths in his latest PR stunt. Johnny admits that rebranding Headbutt Ale as the beer of choice for alcohol Satan's elbows without their permission was a risky move, but says the bearded howls flying through the was a surprise. In it to win it, exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what teammates Q are describing as unique prizes worth more than money. Take up on the scheme has been much higher than expected. And it is anything to go by. It looks like everyone's going to have.
加翻落去啊！
咦？開唔到嘅？開唔到嘅喂！死！咩嚟㗎？咩嚟㗎？
求其啦！
咩嚟㗎？字幕去咗邊啊？
Only a few miles below sea level. Talking things through, a momentous subterranean summit today as the imprisoned intellectuals of Dante's Tate met in what was hailed as a breakthrough for tensions in the tunnels. With no help from the surface coming to maintain the separate factions, the two leaders were forced to meet in order to resolve the dispute once and for all. Photos transmitted to the surface captured the surprising moment that the old rivals met face to face once more. Unfortunately, it seems the pair weren't able to forgive or forget, as reportedly, Ingrid is still unhappy with David Stanley's.
點解會冇咗個字幕㗎？
Well, David is angry that Ingrid mispronounced his name. Life during wartime. As if we didn't have enough aggressors on our borders, internal problems are growing for the government as radical activist group Disrupt caused chaos in Parliament Park last night.
發動咗
broke out after the protest, resulting in multiple arrests
呢個
and the injury
冇咁
of
暴力啊！睇
cohesion
起嚟
officers.
係嘛？
A barn severe to
你覺得係嘛？
The reckless fire will certainly be remembered.
係咪冇咁暴力啊？
by
睇
those
嚟
who've seen these striking images. As their
即
actions
對咩嚟
escalate,
㗎？
people
火嘅。
across the country are asking themselves, who are Disrupt?
logo 嚟，
Exactly.
拳頭嘅 logo。
Other than a new box of matches, of course. All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championships, and her proud owner. That's all up on tonight's National Nightly News.
誒，你把你用咗
風扇啊！
頂你啊！燒咗啊！
右邊，
咩？
But first tonight,
右，
等先，咦唔得嘅喂。
右，
as young people with great nation of ours
風
are coping with this unprecedented hot weather. First, let's go to
跌
Megan
晒
Wolf
咯。
in
唔緊要
Shining on Sea to see what the scientific
有 Q 得佢，
community has to say.
我又唔係為高分而玩。
How's the weather there?
It's absolutely glorious, Jeremy. Thank you for asking. I'm here with Dr. Anna Burns at the University of Princeton. Are you enjoying the weather as much as I am?
Oh, yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
And you're part of a team carrying out a study into just what's causing these unbelievable heat. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the public once and for all that there's absolutely nothing to worry about and that they can enjoy their sunstroke and fossil fuels in peace.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh,
點解咁
very
熱嘅？
much so. I can say without any hesitation, there's
睇嚟
really
好似
no
好熱
cause
咁
for any concern here. I've actually left my car running.
So tell us about this experiment.
Well, we take data from weather stations from all over the world, along with atmospheric samples, and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon we'll be getting a high-tech readout of the results.
Amy, that sounds very fancy.
I should just say, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Rivington's This.
風扇。
This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our future.
You.
Say, complimentary personal anecdote. Oh, here we go.
吹到咯
And, as expected, everything is absolutely
得 OK。
fucked. Hang on.
你咁
This
喂屌！
right.
Right, but obviously you said...
咩？
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says, why, God, why?
We should be celebrating these wonderful results, I
啲
think.
嗰啲得。
We need to evolve gills
That-
within 40 years. Here it just says, shit.
Look at you.
咁啊，
屌！
You can't go around looking like that. There you go.
咁啊，
我睇到，聽到而家。
Thank you again to Sophia Remington for providing all of this.
Everyone, we don't have long. Time is
It's
running out.
running out. Absolutely right. That is
食咗佢喂！
Abandon hope and return to the forest.
Enjoy that. I'd like to thank you.
好大鋪。
Just one opinion on the climate.
The sea will reclaim us all.
There you have it, Jeremy. Proof, if proof we need be, that everything is just fine.
誒，你未換就唔好同我講，唔好咁講。
Here with science. Back to you.
Megan Wolf there, attempting to do some actual news. Next, heads over to Robin Short, who's in Scritchford with some of the winners of this week's team membership.
哎呀，原來我揀㗎。
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm here in Scritchford
哦，唔係喎，唔
with
係我
Gary
揀嗰兩個都得獎
a
喎。
janitor at the local school, and
好
Amelia
嘢喎
Jackhammer,
真係唔係
an
好嘢。
aspiring poet. Both of you were drawn
Ni
out
做咩
of
識
random
風
from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel? Filled with fervent euphoria.
Yeah, good, yeah.
And all that we had to do was fill in a quick form or two.
Wow, that sounds so convenient. But we're all dying to know, what have you won?
Yeah.
Right, Robin.
翻唔到轉頭嘅喂。咦？
I've been invited to Peter Clement's house to help him
Hello,
dredge
Dave.
the gutter in.
That's absolutely terrific. You must both be over the moon. I've written a poem about it. So, can you tell me about the moment when you first heard the news?
Well,
哦，即係你揀咗邊個就訪問邊個多啲。
可能啊，
when the headmaster came and found me.
唔好識機啊你。哇！我又喐唔翻去右邊啊喂。
So you were both
喂！
turds.
No, I don't like to polish them. I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh. How unexpected.
我過親去開風扇咧，佢都會有問題，翻唔到轉頭會。
Potato, potato. So Gary.
冷靜。
There's no harm in asking, I suppose. Would you like to hear one? No, thank you. Gary.
冇人理佢。
For team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery, or were there other reasons?
I like a flutter, of course, but no, the boss said I had to sign up to keep coming into school.
Very sensible. It's important to know who we're trusting around our children.
Oh, I have an unpublished book of sonnets about children. Perhaps you'd like to hear one.
No.
Or an anthology of haikus on the death of innocence.
I'd rather hear about Gary's turd collection.
Really? I thought you might say that.
Are you all right?
Yes, it's coming. It's inspiration and it's delicious.
Right you are.
Today on the show there's no news. Just a man who keeps multiple poos.
你唔好熄風扇啊！
Fibre is a really lovely texture.
Would you encourage other people to enter for their chance to win?
If it's colour you're looking for, take a gander at old Blue Eyes here.
The national news lost its way when it covered some crap on a tray.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have
Now I
time
know
for
they will.
today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What a lucky pair they are. And finally in this segment, it's over to
點解4號講緊嘢嘅已經
who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the unprecedented weather is affecting the locals. Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm here live in Grizzleford, which has recently voted the
又係呢個男人咁樣
town
好
of the
似
country.
係咪又係呢個阿伯啊？
唔知咧，
同頭先嗰個白差唔多碌嘅。
都係落去咗幾個，右邊。
係。
Barry Lardon, mate. You've lived here your whole
佢呢邊咧要喐咧，佢又會好明顯嘅。
To be honest with you, you can tell that look at him, proud as punch. Do you know what it's like?
但係呢度佢就唔明顯，
Being the second
佢會有隻着燈咯，
佢會有聲嘅，但係好細咯。
同埋好快嘅咁啊！
Who's laughing now, eh? Well, not me, that's for sure. So what happened, mate? Right, the good people from Rillington's Fist came in and saved the day with their factory. You're talking, of course, about the newly built Flard factory. Yeah, they gave us this big presentation on jobs and growth. But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here. Does stink not affect your life in every way, Barry? I mean, perhaps if you're filling in a tax return or completing the physical act of love. It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first bout of sickness. The judges were very impressed. So, what's the sickness like? Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes before you develop any symptoms. Now, folk are saying something about the production line and how they dump carcasses directly into the water main, but I think it's probably the fume valves on the high street. On the high street? Should I see a doctor? What are the symptoms? Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a loss of inhibition.
Come day.
When was the last time you brushed your teeth, this stinking old tramp? And next recording is a period of randomly bursting into song, followed immediately by delusions of grandeur. Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon. He's wearing sexy shorts now. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion. I'm gorgeous. Why didn't you tell me? I should take my shirt off. You know what? I'll even let you touch me if you want. That will be the bout of undeserved self-confidence. Love the Bannon. Feel the Bannon. Oh, man. And the ennui. All that's left now
are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
No, Dottie? Was that you? Why are you made out of elbows? You know I don't eat opinions.
暈咗啊！
Don't worry, folks. Once he wakes up, he'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels. Right. That's all here from Bristolford, a town that's really making a stink. I'm Barry Lardons. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Baron. With a naval blockade being set up around our coastline as we speak, when we come back, I'll be talking to 3 members of the general public who appear to be here purely for medical reasons. Don't go away. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. We'll be back
我講過啦。
after these messages.
邊啊？
啊 A 播咗啦咩
我唔係播咗啦咩
？A B 先播咗。幾時播講㗎？
啊冇咩
你熱親啊
？A 未播嘅咩？唔係已經播咗啦咩？
邊有播過啊？
過咗啦喎，唔係咩？
幾時過嘅？
有冇人話俾我聽 A 有冇播到？
冇。
唔係喎，我覺得好似播咗 A 嘅喎。
冇。
嚟，我想開嚟睇下。我可以重玩喎呢段，因為 E 嘅關係。其實我可以。
That's what I'm talking about.
準備。
We should be doing an interview with the War Minister or a report from Grantham Downs. Even the weather will be more fucking relevant than this.
嬲啦！
Exactly, which is wrong. People's minds should be very much on things. Christ, it's so fucking hot.
Please take your seats as quickly as you can.
I can't do this anymore, Jenny. I've had enough. That's it. This is just
10 seconds. Get over yourself, Jeremy. Why don't you
真係好嬲喎 ，Jeremy。佢好嬲個節目播嘅嘢啊！你明唔明啊？選擇播嘅嘢。
Welcome back to the National Night in News with me, your host, Jeremy Donaldson. Later, we'll be talking to the captain of the territory's first cat football team, Professor Pumpkin. But first, I'm joined by 3 guests with some balmy bodily behaviours. Joining me is a woman who's been hiccuping for over...
佢喺度化緊妝，所以係唔可以播出嚟。
Yes, that's right.
Yes, tell us, what brought all this on?
Well, it's all a bit...
播佢大頭啦，唯有。
Jeremy, to be totally frank with you. So I was watching your show and I remember seeing the news about the election. And it hasn't stopped since.
話咁大師嚟嘅。
Also here is Frankie Steampipe. Perhaps you could explain to us exactly what your physiological foreboil is.
I'm here to say it's high time people like me were respected. We're constantly overlooked in the workplace, we're whispered about on buses, and we're asked politely to lead children's birthday parties. And it's disgusting.
哇！佢放屁啊！仲放緊啊！
I'm sorry, my bowels have comic timing.
And finally, I'm joined by a man who answers every question honestly, even when it isn't aimed at him. How do you cope with that, Mr. Truman?
With a combination of booze, self-hatred, and hardcore pornography.
Is that?
Not according to my therapist.
Wow.
頂你啊！你唔好熄機喎。
Let's speak to Rose. Tell me, how does the hiccuping impact you?
I get shushed a lot, which is hard. At work, they've asked me to stop answering the phones. It's really affected my confidence.
Well, I find it really fucking irritating.
People tend to believe your story?
Fuck no.
Actually, I've been surprised at how much support I've received.
And Frankie, why have you come here today?
Because my wife left me, and I was hoping that the fame would win her back.
We've started a group for
一 hold 得個圖喺個畫面太耐，佢會奪落嚟。開大，細呢個唔開得嘅呢個。
And we bloody well mean it.
And who's joined so far?
A bunch of...
佢一化妝就唔開得。哎呀，早咗撳啊頂！
And how much success have you had?
Well, we've seen some real positive changes.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but It's been a runaway success.
Shit all. Not a single person come to our fun run, and all of our leaflets fell in the canal.
Huh. Well, Miss Piercy, some people are saying your condition was actually caused by the shocking events of that night. What do you think?
Come down, Mr. Donaldson, that's absolute rubbish.
What'd it be like to have a pair of tits?
Could you? I'm sorry, it's very hot. What was I thinking?
That you're a team fuck puppet? Or a sellout cunt?
啊頂，撳唔切，轉轉畫面就。
This isn't live television, then what is it?
Fuckfest
就嚟啊你。
masquerading as journalism.
Right, Frankie, Rose, tell us, how can the viewers get involved with your cause?
Yes, we're holding a sponsored run in Capital the Park next weekend. It's called the No Smiles 13 Miles.
No, it's called the No Laugh Half. What did I say before the show?
The team pulling Jeremy Donaldson's string.
開翻大先。
Oh, wow, we may have to end that there, unfortunately.
仲有人嘅。
On this bit of fun.
有人拉住啊！
We
俾人睇，我一定要俾你睇，俾大家睇，一定要俾人睇，佢俾人拉啊！
跌緊喎！
唉，我雖然唔應該俾人睇，但我真係好想俾人睇啊！佢俾人拉啊！你明唔明啊？哇！啊！受傷啊！
又嚟
哇！炸親啦！我唔想變啦，已經，我想睇。誒，撳錯掣。
You in the broadcast centre. Bonesman's little scapegoat. You listen to me. You cut the ads before I tell you to, and I will kill every single person in this studio.
嚇！
I am thinking.
張面冷靜啲啊！
I've been thinking about it for a long time. We all.
妖！
So fucking hot in here.
哎呀，死聽唔到。
The real news before it was all lottery winners. Betty.
咁咪整甩我條繩啊，條線啊！
We are on the brink of a siege, the likes of which the world
撳唔到啦，搞到我。
hundreds of years. The enemy is at the gates, and I'm stuck here talking to these three fucking idiots. Oh my God! Stop. You three, get the fuck out of my studio. Go on, now, go, before I change my mind. Jenny, lock the doors. Lock the doors. Good.
呢個時候我仲要直播啊！
You in the broadcast centre.
佢同我講嘢喎，喂。
I'm sure you've already loaded up exactly what you're going to pay in a commercial.
係啊。
It's going to be a little bit different. Look to your right. Yes.
有。
Look to your right. There is a VHS tape, and I want you to load
掹咗
it
B 先啊！
And when I say so, and not before.
掹咗 B 俾人大電位嘅。
You've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time. Now.
OK。
All cameras.
Alex, I know I've doubted your competence.
有。
Surely even you know better than to play that tape. We don't take orders from armed lunatics. Play a normal advert, or there will
我播啊，我睬你都傻啊！
Over now, we're going to show the other side of it. For a bit of fucking balance. Have a good one.
啊，做咗咁，佢就會別我㗎。
Play the fucking tape.
咁啊！
I don't want to hurt anyone.
等先，我想睇
See
啊。
anything I don't like,
Go.
I will not hesitate to start by killing this man.
我想睇。
Reset the system for the third segment.
我想睇，純粹我想睇。啊！聽。聽。
Talk about us on the news. We are disrupt.
哦
The resistance.
反抗者。
It's time you knew the truth.
哇，係時候告訴你真相，原來 Jeremy 係。
You know the elderly are not a burden. You know the rich were not all evil. And you know the team membership card is an ID card, no matter what they try to tell you. But why should you trust us? Another faceless organization. A shadowy figure with a distorted voice. You've seen it so many times in the movies. Well, this is not a movie.
Ooh.
My name is Alan James. I used to try and shock people for a living, for entertainment. But now we live in a time where perhaps you need to be shocked. Perhaps we need to wake up. Advance are coming for our freedoms.
They are coming for the fruits of our labours.
冇錯啊，其實而家我哋香港都係一模一樣。
They will euthanize our parents and smiling throughout. They will turn our children against us if we voice our concerns. But you don't have to accept it. A great many people already won't. You can resist.
仲繼續播。
You can disrupt. Find us. Talk with us. Join us.
出面冇嘢啊！
It isn't hard. We're everywhere.
我好擔心佢。哦。我要繼續撳啊！
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Joining me unexpectedly for
冷靜啊，張面。
my last broadcast are two new guests. Jenny works here at the National Nightly News and is someone I consider, well, a friend. And next to her is, what's your name? Andy. Andy's a policeman. Only we don't call him that anymore. He's a community cohesion official.
認罪理事官啊，佢係社區營 CCO 啊，佢係。
And how's that feel, Andy? Being rebranded?
It's good. It's not about compensation anymore. You know, the force had its fair share of problems. The team doesn't have as many.
But it still has some.
I couldn't say.
Couldn't or wouldn't?
I don't know what you want me to say.
好擔心 Jeremy 啊！
Business, aren't you? We'll come back to you later. Jenny?
好驚死啊佢！佢真係好驚。
You want to do this? Jenny, why did you join the National Nightly News?
I always wanted to work in the news.
Yes, but why specifically this program? The National Nightly News.
哇！呢一集應該超高收視啦啩？
Do you really want to quibble semantics at gunpoint?
Is there something else you'd rather discuss?
There is a great big Alan James-sized elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring.
What do you mean?
Saw your face on that thing came down. No, did you?
It's about the message, not the messenger.
Like I said, you didn't know.
No. I didn't know. The people I met were with... He wasn't there. I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry. But seriously, Alan fucking James. You're flushing your life down the toilet. God, I love you, Jeremy.
嚇！表白呢時候表白。
He's popular in the country.
That right?
Look, forget Alan James. There is still something deeply wrong. And you know it, Jenny. You know it, Andy. And you know it too. Meanwhile,
係我嘛？
I'm a guest who stinks of shit. Patrick is puddling about in shit, and Robin is literally interviewing someone who collects the fucking stuff. I mean, it's not sophisticated, but what a metaphor. We are sleepwalking our way into.
唔必，藍色唔必。
Saying anything. We're not saying anything.
Says who? Alan fucking James.
What are all those scientists working on at Quentin
Bit.
Downs? What are they testing underground at Altergrade? Andy, your turn. Make yourself fucking useful. How many people have you brought in for consultations just because they weren't carrying or didn't have team membership cards?
喂，人哋要揸住把槍上台講嘢啦，我仲唔幫佢？
Then why do you need
而家係佢死唔係我死啊！喂，大佬，我真係我仲唔幫佢？人哋咁激動，攞條命嚟。
point, is it, Andy?
攞條命嚟做呢一個節目，
Let me demonstrate it for you. Let me help
係咪咁話？
you read these cards and my notes.
我唔幫佢，我唔係人。
Probably digest a fact. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it, Andy? Knowing a fact.
I don't
Do you want my
Ooh.
help?
Yes, whatever you say, yes.
Security are here, Jeremy.
Eat it. What? Eat the fucking news, Andy, or I'll force it down your fucking throat.
Jeremy, stop.
Go on.
Really?
Eat it. Eat it, you fucking bully.
Jeremy, stop.
We will kill you. Please, don't make me watch that.
You're right. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can go now. You too, Jenny. Fuck off over there. And Andy. All cameras on me. This new regime of ours is so seductive. I understand that. But before we all hand off our freedoms, should we ask to whom we're handing them over? Don't you want to know what's being done in your name? How many people were transitioned last month? A record high. Again, if you care. Shouldn't someone ask Advance how they plan to deal with this blockade? How many years or months of supplies we have? Why aren't we asking these questions instead of whose shit is this? There's a cat backstage dressed as a fucking goalie, for Christ's sake. He's even got the little gloves. Hey, that's why I arranged for you to see that broadcast from the last break.
我幫你嘅 Jamie。
But I guess that just about sums it up. We are all up Ship Creek with a paddle made of Alan fucking James. Christ, it's all so fucking pointless. I was gonna quit. Take a holiday. Try something else. Out on the line.
我覺得佢唔止辭職咁簡單。
Having a relationship. I hear they're nice. Never try. I love it.
你直頭係會被拉嚟坐監咯，我想講。 唔好啊！
I've tried my best to be honest.
喂，唔好啊！喂，冷靜。
This just isn't the news anymore. And I'm sorry. I've lost the spite.
係。no 啊！而家啊，卡啊！
My name's Jamie Donaldson.
Do it now.
If you can.
啊！我唔想卡啦，我想睇啊！
I envy.
唔卡。
Have a peaceful night.
唔好啊！shit！ 我卡廣告會唔會唔死啊佢？
Provitamin formula is a deep fortifying intensive treatment that repairs and
哎呀，佢自殺咗啊！啊
contains an organic
Jamie 死咗啊！佢點解咁激動啊？
and glycogen that looks and feels.
啊！
Acetic nourishes from root to tip, tied to strength of other brands. No wonder 6 out of 10 shampoos recommend it. The intensive formula acts fast.
係咪啊？我啱啊！人哋用條命去做呢一集，我點解唔幫佢啊？一定要條命嚟做呢一集㗎！我唔逼佢係啱㗎，你明唔明啊？佢用條命去抗議啊！哎呀，好睇啊呢段！你覺得係應該 cut 廣告，但係我想俾佢，我想俾人知道，佢真係用條命去做個節目啊！你明唔明啊？唉，廣告純粹俾啲觀眾睇唔到，我都覺得係啊！我頭先有諗過 cut 廣告佢會唔會唔自殺，但係如果我 cut 廣告咪再對佢唔住咯，佢已經用條命去做呢個節目噶咯喎，我仲唔幫佢？佢要俾人即係佢自殺咯，而家已經去到呢個地步，我仲唔俾佢知道，即係我仲唔俾大眾知道，佢用條命去做呢一集去反抗政府啦，係咪啊？我仲唔幫佢，我梗係唔 cut 啦！即係我要俾人知道，人哋係寧願死都要反對呢個政府啊！哎呀，好感動啊！張宇好勁啊，我覺得佢 好勇敢啊！哎呀，好睇啊呢段。哎呀，呢番石跌咗，點解啊？仍然係窮光蛋啊！哎呀，喂耶！仍然係烈心，耶！升咗啦，升咗啦，跌咗啊！先進都跌咗啊！
點樣令佢升？
唉，好感動，我好感動。Jeremy 死咗啊！但係我覺得你嘅小命都有啲危險，我都講啊！為我祈禱，我就嚟死啦！難忘的錄像帶，我就死啦！為我祈禱啦！你一覺醒來，好似又想講咧呢一個 game 咧，我上網睇過，原來有多重結局噶，有10幾個結局噶出嚟可以。係啊，但係我唔知道嗰10幾個結局要啲乜嘢要求先出到啦，因為好似仲未有人做到出嚟，即係10幾個結局出到嘅，但係好似冇講過話，我又揾唔幾到，可能我未揾到啦，即係究竟揀咩選項會出到咩結局嗰啲咧，我仲未揾到，但係我就係見到人哋係話有10幾個結局，都唔知啲人玩唔玩得晒添啊！而家先出咗10日8日啫嘛，呢隻 game 係咯。唔死都要賣腎，冇咩分別，啱嘅，同意。你一覺醒來，仍然對你昨晚喺新聞中睇到嘅消息呢感到震驚。呢陣晚呢必須編輯嘅新聞消息，當你落樓嘅時候，你發現家人都坐喺客廳等你。哎呀，好擔心我會影響緊屋企人。你坐喺 Sam 旁邊嘅sofa。Sam 咧吞咗啖口水，猶豫咗一陣先開始講嘢。尋日我真係好擔心你嘅。喺 Jeremy 咧攞住槍，阿 Sam 想喊咁講，太恐怖啦！喺國家電視台，佢點樣可以咁樣做咧？而家喺一陣可怕嘅沉默之後 ，Sam 就終於講話 ：My dear，你點啊？你還好嘛？我完全唔敢相信佢已經走咗。我冇事嘅，我覺得呢一下應該要安慰下身邊嗰個，所有嘢都我自己一個承受就 OK 嘅。阿 Sam 咧就望望查理，然後望望我。我哋睇到你咧選擇咗播放嗰個錄影帶，佢停咗陣，然後講：我好想知道點解，似乎係正確嘅做法。我冇選擇嘅餘地。反就反啦。我認為你做得啱嘅。我意思係咧，情況好癲啊，但係咧播放錄影帶咧係正確嘅做法。阿查理就細聲講：你冇意識到佢嘅支持對你有幾重要。即係我個仔啊，查理係。好高興啦！你個仔企喺你身邊，企喺你呢邊。Alex 點都好啦，我認為咧，你當時處境係好艱難，但係你仲係做出咗正確嘅決定。阿 Sam 咧張開雙臂攬住你，只要你咧困喺演播室裏邊，不得不做出選擇。冇人可以批評你做嘅嘢嘅，我哋為你感到驕傲。哎呀，多謝你嘅支持，你從未如此感激過。阿 Sam 對你嘅支持，好感動啊！你深呼吸一口氣，整理下自己嘅情緒，然後要接受嘅東西太多啦。你唔確定自己咧係咪完全明白尋晚發生嘅事，更唔好提咧查理同埋 Sam 咧對一切嘅睇法啦。你好攰咁對住屋企人微笑，你攰到你覺得好似攰到精疲力盡啊！你唔知道咧，你有幾擔心呢件事。但係當查理咧講咗個好愚蠢嘅笑話，佢哋全部都笑，你感覺到巨大嘅緊張感消失咗。老婆佢按一按我個背脊，然後佢打開電視，咁樣就太好啦。
即係屋企人都支持。
我揀乜嘢，佢哋應該都會支持我估咋。但係佢有成10幾個結局，我真係唔知道佢會唔會有分別咯。佢哋嗰啲講嘢。不過我播同唔播個錄影帶應該肯定有分別，即係佢呢段文字一定有分別。啱食完早餐 ，Sam 咧就攞住郵件行嚟啦。啊！我哋今日咧收到 Susie 寄嚟嘅明信片啊！我希望佢旅途愉快。當你咧 ready 好去上班嘅時候咧，阿 Sam 大聲咁讀出嚟啦。我已經感受到阿爾吉斯坦大部分嘅地區係點樣㗎啦，確實好 cool 啊！但係咧太凍啦，希望咧查喜歡呢份禮物啦。呢個啊就係 Santa Marino 係嘛？就係呢個啦，咩查理乜乜咩呢個厄爾乜乜呢個？禮物係邊個啊？你先咩都唔好講，係你咧要我帶多一對襪係啱。阿 Sam 咧喺台底咧輕咁踢咗你一下，跟住咧我哋咧就坐上開往科尼斯拉法嘅火車，嗰度暖好多啦，仲有海灘可以玩。我本來可以咧，永遠咧留喺嗰度噶，但係咧，我哋咧要喺天氣變冷之前咧，趕到聖帕馬里諾。聖帕馬里諾就係呢個啊嘛。我好高興咧，我哋到咗聖帕馬里諾啊！我哋好可能咧，仲要去多1、2個地方嘅，然後咧先至會翻屋企。但係咧，我會及時翻嚟過聖誕節㗎，我保證。希望大家一切都安好啦，我愛你哋 ，Susie。點解係 XXX 嘅？聽嚟咧，好似一個好特別嘅旅行，絕對係物有所值嘅。1年啊，我就死啦！我 feel 到，等唔等到個妹翻嚟都成問題，我就死啦！20個星期的戰爭篇，吓？打仗啊！好細聲，係咩嚟㗎呢啲？唔在乎呢個政府，日本人都喺呢個政權係幾多利益嘅，唔睬你都傻㗎。唔好掂骨黃色，咩嚟㗎？咩嚟㗎？得咩嚟㗎？
入廣告大啫。
哦。
You do where you turn politicians into humans. Don't get drawn into
the
war, politics in general.
They do know this is the news, don't they?
You didn't hear this from me, but
我唔會播咯，是但啦。我想播多次 A， 可唔可以播2次 A 㗎？
入翻俾大陸係咪得咯？
誒，聽下先。
Oh, great! So they get the brains and we get the performing monkey.
Sometimes you sound just like him, you know.
How are you?
佢哋喺度懷念緊 Jeremy 係咪啊？我頭先聽唔到，應該要快啲撳。
10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5.
咩嚟㗎呢
個？3.
頭先佢話唔好撳個橙色掣喎。
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolf. It's the 140th day of war.
140日。
Company of heroes. Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World Council's illegal blockade. Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed
我仲唔擺啲死傷，我仲咁型把鬼啊！戰爭梗係要死傷㗎啦！我要俾大家睇到現實，睇清現實。乜嚟㗎呢啲？拍掌哦，假聲係咪啊 ？Dislike 笑笑，哇！哈哈哈，係咪呢啲啊？假聲嚟㗎，我估呢啲。
The rationing depots have been constructed in record time, and the government's agricultural coordination strategy has seen shelves restocked with increasing regularity. However, with a reported rise in mental and physical health issues since the imposition of the blockade, critics have questioned whether those smaller communities which are only now starting to receive help could have been better and quicker served. 7 days to die. The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations calling for it to be opened up to the wider community. With dwindling medical supplies leaving many of our most vulnerable facing chronic pain, it can come as no surprise that the transition centres have found themselves stretched to capacity. Populace. More than 11% of the population have thus far failed to register.
11% 冇攞啊
A worrying statistic, given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. While applications are still open for those who like to run fashionably late, they can expect
11% 冇攞到團體嗰個會員證啊！
Disrupt spokesman Alan James held an impromptu rally today.
同我哋一樣啊！
Large crowds gathered to hear the band speaker prove Disrupt are still able to capture the public's imagination. A representative from the team described the event as mostly peaceful.
係咪 mostly peaceful 佢話
going quietly into the night. And finally, absent friends. Sad news today as the grave of former National Nightly News host Jeremy Donaldson is vandalised by radical Disrupt activists.
蓄意破壞
Much-loved broadcaster suffered a very tragic public breakdown 10 weeks ago in an incident which ultimately cost him his life. Disrupt spokesman Alan James
唔係應該話即係唔係確保佢確定佢身份嘅意思咩？
唔係破壞咩話啊？
as a fitting tribute to a hero of the resistance. But first this evening, with the war about to enter its 21st punishing week and people hurting up and down the country, I'll be grilling unpredictable Prime Minister Peter Clement in an exclusive interview from his home in Lancashire. That's coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Because it's so hard to turn the fucking wheel! Go!
頂你啊！
I think these bikes breaks!
咩點解會別嘅？
Speaking up the different
喂！佢瘋狂咁別咩意思啊？ 唔得啊！原來呢唔係啊，呢一段係唔可以出㗎，應該。
左下角係應該。
我俾咗太多真實嘅手上嘅真實嘅一面俾人睇到。
即係唔可以俾嗰段播左下角先啊！
玩晒10幾個結果，你加油啦！好難啊！
We're expecting deplorables from Disrupt to hack the signal tonight. Perhaps you could leave your personal beliefs at home and try not to let them ruin the broadcast.
你咪話轉喺佢哋。
You understand you have a vested
唔
interest
記得咗
in
等
us
啲，
staying on the air.
我仲要睇佢講
Out
先
of。the orange.
唔得閒啊，呢個唔使開。
What does that mean?
第一個梗係播我㗎啦，唔係喎，應該擺喺2會多人睇啲。
They do know this is the news, don't they?
可以揀播 B 啊 A 定 C 啊嘛。
咁啊係。CQ 蛋啦，啲咩嚟㗎？佢受生活咩嚟㗎？我可唔可以撳得佢啊？
Oh, great. So they get the brains.
受生活啦，又係唔想放我瘋狂你啊！
Sometimes you sound just like him, you know.
How are you?
It is.
以後頭先講咩啊？佢喺度，佢係咪瘋狂出走？所以我係，所以其實頭先唔係咪唔應該睇2？我冇留意佢嗰度做緊乜嘢。
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolf. It's the 140th day of war.
好，重新再揀，又冇字幕
Company
啦
of。heroes. Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World Council's illegal blockade. Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is certainly keeping the enemy on high alert, unable to work out where or when the next strike will come. Sadly, however, more casualties were reported today, and as the weeks and months of this war make ever more demands on our armed services, those numbers will, tragically, only continue to rise. Don't starve. Advance's food program moved from strength to strength today as rationing depots were opened in the last remaining unfed areas of the territory. The rationing depots have been constructed in record time And the government's agricultural coordination strategy
要配給食物啊！你冇可能係耶有得配給好耶，冇可能咯！你要配給啊！你仲唔係咁樣？我啲麵包發毛啊頂！跟住阿媽就點解要食麵包？呢個係好正常嘅呢個。冇可能係頭先嗰個耶。
The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations calling for it to be opened up to the wider community. With dwindling medical supplies leaving many of our most vulnerable facing chronic pain, it can come as no surprise that the transition centres have found themselves stretched to capacity. Populace. More than 11% of the population have thus far failed to register for a team membership card, a worrying statistic given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. While applications are still open for those who like to run fashionably late, they can expect a few tricky questions from advance. Start me up. Disrupt spokesman Alan James held an impromptu rally today in the northern city of Mankipool. Large crowds gathered to hear the band speaker prove Disrupt are still able to capture the public's imagination. A representative from the Mankipool Community Cohesion
算唔算多人支持佢啊？呢個畫面，我驚呢個畫面唔夠多
But it
人。
looks like Disrupt aren't going quietly into the night. And finally, absent friends. Sad news today as the grave of former National Nightly News host Jeremy Donaldson is vandalised by radical Disrupt activists. The much-loved broadcaster suffered a very tragic public breakdown 10 weeks ago in an incident which ultimately cost him his life. Disrupt spokesman Alan James, whose organisation last week named Mr. Donaldson as the cause's first martyr, described the graffiti as a fitting tribute to a hero of the resistance.
Jeremy 多謝你。咦，聽咗嘅。What？
But first this evening, with the war about to enter its 21st punishing week and people hurting up and down the country, I'll be grilling unpredictable Prime Minister Peter Clement in an exclusive interview from his home in Lancashire.
Peter 啊，真係手上係。
National Nightly News.
我想聽你講嘢。 好想聽呢個阿伯講嘢啊 ，Peter。喂，碌夠未啊你？停下，好唔好停下？
In part 2, I'm a little overexcited to announce I'll be interviewing the one and only Lil C. And later we've got a new feature that's sure to keep you coming back for more. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement. 2, 1. Good evening, Prime Minister. Have we caught you exercising?
佢中風啊！
Yes, that's right, Miss Wolf. Just a few minor.
掛做運動啊！
Nothing drastic.
我唔覺得佢有做運動，佢都根本踩唔到落
Your
去。
mum used to say, just because she won't take it up the shit, it doesn't mean you shouldn't try for a quick fiddle up the car park.
Language, Prime Minister.
Language。
What? Quick fiddle? What's wrong? Oh, shitter.
又嚟啦！
It's shitter, isn't it? Yep, that's the one.
And can you tell us
你
what
唔好
brought
啊
about this new
咦？點解條橙色嘅？
Well, you know, Mrs.
咩嚟㗎？係
Today, I spoke to the people of
係。
When
佢
Jeremy
佢
Donaldson
播佢係要播橙色。
哦！
Listen or not, as
I listened. I listened to Jean, who told me that
我死硬啦！
financial security for her and her family for the
好快
first
我會
time.
變成一個墳墓啦！
She finds also for the first time that she can no longer sleep peacefully.
Try not to do that, Alex. We're watching you.
By the worry of being a burden
我俾人
on
夾
his
住啦！
children, and counting the days until they sit him down and tell him he is exactly that. I listened to Anna, who spends her lunchtimes in the school cafeteria
我睇唔到你
eating
講
alone,
嘢啊！我唔得閒。
because she is the only girl in her
我
class
非常唔
who
得
isn't
閒
a
啊！
go-getter. They have never met, these three, and they are of different ages and
加油
social
啊你！
backgrounds, but they share a common
係
experience.
誒，
They share
冇
a
嘢冇嘢
nagging
冇事，
feeling
冷靜。
that there is something deeply wrong
我嗨到
in
啫
our utopia, and I share that
嗨到
feeling.
個嘟。
and maybe you do too. In the days and weeks ahead, I will be speaking throughout the country, but you don't need to wait for me. Disruptor everywhere. Every bar, every street corner. Look for us, and you will find us.
Wait.
You are not alone. And advance. I'm not the...
你咁都要嘟我？喂，都要去嘟。
It doesn't seem to be going abroad when the rest of the country is grounded.
And yet, Julia Salisbury announced today that she will be visiting Svenland during this year's winter break. Is that really an example of team spirit?
佢哋唔知㗎係咪啊？
What? Did you know about this?
咦，又嚟你？喂！
咩事啊？
咩事？等先！
大一聲啊！
咩事？咩事啊？
唔知喎，下面有冇嘢？
好驚啊！點解玩緊啲正經嘅時候，出邊會爆炸嘅？
哦，有架的士喺樓下喎，唔知做乜嘢爆胎啊！
但係咁大聲喎！
停咗喺樓下啊，唔知。
唔係普通爆胎嘅聲可以大到咁喎。
唔知咩？
冇可能㗎喎。
停咗喺度，而家又開嘞喎。
唔係啊，佢聽到嘭一聲，佢應該因為驚所以停低啊，傻佬。
冇嘢樓下。
唔係啊，樓下睇唔到咋，應該有嘢㗎，肯定。
你見到咩事嘅？
好大聲啊！真係。發生咩事？出邊有爆炸聲頭先。其實樓下咧時不時都有撞車㗎，你都知㗎啦。但係撞車都冇咁大聲，我好肯定。前排咪小巴反啊，就算係兩架車相撞都冇咁大聲。頭先嗰下嘭係非常大聲，似爆炸，好恐怖，唔知咩嚟嘅咧？會唔會係有某屋企？我唔知啊。
見唔到煙又見唔到聲。
唔係可能呢個方向睇唔到，唔出奇。可能好遠都唔出奇。哎呀，好驚啊！發生咩事啊？好遠啊！其實我聽到個聲，但係咧遠得嚟好大聲。佢係好遠，然後好大聲嘭，但係好短喎嗰下又，嗰下嘭又好短，唔係好長，就係咁啦，好驚。
Took control of the national media newsroom. He tried to warn us all about the now abandoned top-secret military lab at Grantham Downs.
我死眼咯
We may never know exactly what
我要
was
變
being
墳
done
墓咯
there.
拜拜。
Jeremy Donaldson made us look.
點解你都要我逼啊？你可唔可以唔好講粗口咧？反抗者可唔可以體諒下我個呢個小小嘅導播員
？I only met him a few times in a professional context.
你咁斯文喺度講嘢，你做
And
乜嘢
usually
講粗口
he exposed me for the grandstanding fool I was back then, but for some reason I always enjoyed it. I liked him. I liked his wit, his jagged edges, and most of all, I liked his total dedication to the truth. That truth.
佢仲喺度踩緊
Died as
車
an individual.
假踩車。等先，得。
And by adorning his resting place with our colour, our emblem, we will help to keep both him and his spirit of relentlessness alive. He will not be forgotten.
上去，得 OK。
唔得喂，唔得。
得，冇事。
Prime Minister, later on this evening, your co-leader Julia Salisbury is going to give a national
我完全冇理佢，點算？我係咪應該要播翻正常啲嘢？如果唔係，我死硬啊
！Yes. Well, I imagine that
Sorry,
there will be
you imagine?
the usual. No, what I mean is.
You do know about this broadcast, don't you, Prime Minister?
I'm sure I did. But Julia and I have no secrets from each other. We don't memorize each other's bloody diaries either. As my old mum used to say, if you wanted to get a job done quick, don't get bogged down in the pew. What else you got?
Sorry?
Only cards. What else? A little piece of my life you want to rustle through? Get out, refill my glass.
佢究竟喺飲酒定做緊運動
Come on. Come on.
Okay. What music do you listen to when you work out?
Well, Gail tells me that I work out to Little C, but I have absolutely no fucking idea who that is. Do you think the C stands for?
It stands for collaborative, Prime Minister.
Yep, actually, that does make more sense, actually.
How's rationing affecting you?
It's hard, but we get by. You just have
但
to
相到
learn to
以
get
為隻
by
game
on the
係啊，
basics. Take
我真係
confidence
好
in
驚
each
啊！
other.
而家都有啲嚇一嚇，我覺得。頭先爆嗰下，仲要係玩緊呢隻 game 咧，我覺得我自己生命有危險嘅時候咧，真係好驚。隻 game 已經令我生命有危險㗎啦，現實喺度令我覺得生命有危險。
When we come back, it's time for the culture spot with Lil C and a world premiere
我應
performance
該
of
播
her
邊個
new
啊
song.
？A 啊
I genuinely can't wait to hear that. We'll be back
係咪 A 啊
after this.
A。
1 minute back, everybody.
And that is what happens when you wander from the car.
I don't think you knew about her statement.
I don't think anyone's supposed to know. When you mentioned it, Bozeman's face turned a colour that I think you call embolism. Bozeman?
Nah,
You're like the daughter we never had. I suppose the higher ups might buy him, though.
Who's Lil C?
Waters and justice, me.
Who's Lil C?
Are you winding me up?
What? I'm civilized. I read books.
嚟 Megan 有啲唔爽喎，越嚟越唔想做。哦，呢隻眼喎，唔好播呢個。而家先睇到 logo 喎，有時睇嗰個 title 真係唔知嘅。
RS 添。
一陣可唔可以再撳多次 A？
入翻餅帶落去咪得咯。
我可以重播 A 嘅嗬。
你入翻餅帶入去咯。
仲喺度啊？
咁播完咪冇咯。
哦。俾大家聽下個廣告。
廖導演。
耶！阿三旅行 PC。
Due to the ongoing military blockade, some destinations may differ from those previously.
PS 係嘛
The
？PS。
cruise now mainly takes place.
PS。
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah,
Later,
John
we
Gore
have an
is
exciting
here.
new feature that we have an exciting new feature that we just know you're going to love. But first, I'm really excited for our next guest. She rose to prominence.
喂，唔記得拉翻個。咩啊？
要揀啊？
哦。
得獎啊？咁噶啦。
要喺呢個縮知到尾之前決定。
And welcome, Lil C.
你唔使入翻餅帶。
Say you look incredible.
Oh, thanks, Dave. I'm doing this new regime and it really does work.
What's the
咩啊
regime?
A 咪入
My
得
manager
咯。
suggested it to me. It basically involves
點解要
bathing in
B？
like cabbage water and then having the leaves
咁
sucked
點
out.
A 本身喺度噶咯喎，點解要咩啊？
Wow, is that helping?
喂，等先，
The leaves are my only nourishment.
點解要轉啊咁？
They certainly are.
你餅帶褪咗出嚟，你入翻餅帶啊！我叫你。
冇褪啊頭先。
你播完之後會褪咗出嚟啊！
等先，你咪嘈。
I've never actually heard of you before, so if you do get a little tongue-tied, I can always carry the interview.
Oh, that's good to know. So your first album, F My Face Together, it hit shelves this summer and it just exploded. I mean, what was that like for you?
Bonkers, just so weird. I was in all the papers and the magazines. Overnight, I went from that like annoying little girl from that show to that like sexy little girl from that show.
Wow, that must have been bizarre.
Not really. It was just like any other morning. You know, get up at 5, go on a 4-mile run, have 3 meetings on my cabbage bath, but then only then was my dad actually talking.
Hi, local.
Of course, and
Hello.
the famed country singer Billy Bob Jean Short. I didn't know you'd been estranged.
There's nothing that strange about it, Megan. Okay, yes, he may believe that aliens told him to hate women, but there really isn't anything to prove that he's wrong.
Uh-huh. So, this newfound explosion into your popularity, I mean, did that change your life?
Well, I had to start
有冇
wearing
人
like
知
nice
究竟點解會有恐怖
underwear
嘅
with
爆炸
paparazzi, but as
聲
the？ manager says, best to make the most of it before I'm 30.
Is that right? So, what's the album about?
So I thought it was about like how pretty and great I am, but actually it's about monetizing youth, I think, or about like promoting an unrealistic standard of beauty or something.
Your manager again.
Yeah, he says insecurity is an opportunity.
Oh, Do you think he'd be happy with you telling us all this?
Telling you all what? It really doesn't matter what I say here. I'll do my dancing and then this part will all be forgotten about.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, we're going to see some of those famous dance moves very shortly because you're going to be performing your new single, aren't you?
Yeah, it's from my album Put It In My A Together and it's
Hey?
out tomorrow.
So soon?
點算？
After the last one?
Oh yeah, I've actually released 2 albums since lunchtime and a clothing album since lunchtime.
我又幫佢啊！
His room
我覺得我就死㗎咯，
is
咁樣幫佢。
But he keeps notebooks he won't let her read. And sometimes she catches him staring at her. And last week, she found him searching through her papers. When confronted, he always had a plausible answer, a good answer. But somehow it's too good. Like it's been prepared in advance. Or possibly by them.
我覺得我唔幫得太多
We
喎
want to。know what the news
可
will
唔可以
no
播一
longer
半
tell
播一
us.
半啊？
And when we find out, we will tell you. We will hack into your news broadcasts. We will defend your right to information. We will resist and we will disrupt.
多謝你嘅
I think things
disrupt
could have been different, you know, like better. But I didn't. I love doing all
Wait,
the
wait.
work, having somebody
冇事，
dress me
冷
and
靜
tell me what to wear.
爭少少啫，冇嘢。
Did you always want to
唔
do
好識電視
music?。Well, ever since I was a little girl, I did. I'd sit in front of the radio.
好，繼
And
續
as soon as
睇
my
無聊
favourite
嘢
girl group would come when I pressed record on my
繼續
cassette,
睇歌手
and
上
my dad
嚟
would come in and tell
宣
me
傳佢嘅音
to
樂。
go upstairs and start practicing again.
Oh, sorry, is your dad your manager?
Yeah, which can be tough. And sometimes when it gets really hard, he'll say, "Make Quagler proud and you might just survive childbirth."
Well, you know what, despite anything, you'll make me proud.
Oh, if only your opinion was as valuable as his.
And on that problematic note, you're going to be singing your song for us soon, aren't you? Tell me about it.
So it's called These Babies Gonna Bring You Home, and I actually got sent the lyrics in the car on the way up here.
打仗
You
仲
know,
睇
it's
咩？
actually alright. And don't
睇
worry,
咩？聽歌
all
啊？
my work is team
仲宣乜
approved.
傳啊喺度？
All right then. Well, you can go and get ready for
奇奇
that.
怪怪。
We'll see you in a little bit. It was a very specific type of pleasure to chat to her, and I just can't wait to hear this. Whoa, Lil C with an exclusive first performance of her new track, These Babies Gonna Bring You Home. Take it away.
Is this deliberate, Alex? We do like our guests to
播錯咗啊！唔應該哈哈哈嘅，
Here to break in your blockades.
應該掌聲。
Lil C.
係錯晒啲拍子。
Oh baby, can't you see I'm hungry? There's a place in me that's empty. I want that meat
快啲升啊喂！
and only you can fill that crack in me. I'm under siege, so come and free me. Ain't no disruption here, boy. I got no agenda. Just want the team and me. No dirty foreign member. Don't stop the morning drill. There's holes in me that ain't been filled yet. I only scream this loud when you do your country proud. I ain't no Vickers, but I come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So let them try and
好難啊！
dream me, fight and love and die at two. So what a Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy. I wanna see some action, so come and break my
Lý Công.
sanctions. I've been this wild and free since Mama burdened me. She was only 53, but gave to save her family. There's no one judging me if I'm the one that's in your fantasy. Don't die alone, these babies gonna bring you home. I ain't no Vickers, but I come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier.
好難啊！
So what if Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy and flip me over some action. So come and break my sanctions.
Well, if that doesn't distract you from the world
我捉唔到個拍子啊！我覺得我
幅嗰個巴佢會升高你就撳啦。
Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll find
我覺得我咧咁啱，佢又話佢唔，佢又話我咁唔啱，我唔知其
We'll
實
be。back right after this. And we're out.
佢會放大縮細嘅喎。
搞掂。又播多次。
Thank you so much for letting me do this. It really means a lot to me, you know.
Yeah.
To be able to promote myself on such a mainstream platform like the news.
Well, don't worry about it. And you know what? Good luck for the future. Take care of yourself. This industry can be crazy sometimes. Watch out for that father of yours.
Oh, no.
Your somebody father?
I manage myself. It's just, you know, for the public to have that certain perspective. You know what it's like.
Oh, right.
And Michael? Michael?
What about Billy Bob Jean Short? Is he?
Oh, my dad. He's such a sweetheart. We both had the same agents, you know, like it just made sense.
Come
Both
on,
got
you go
our
on me.
image together. And Michael, I want to see the revenue share for the clothing line and get me a G&T before my meeting with the lube guys. If they say for your pleasure, I'm going to stop needing it.
冇咯。B。每次按鈕一亮，你就要聽演員台詞，選擇最啱嘅音效，即刻 dislike 佢。邊個主持啊？聽下先。
Adding flowers until it feels like 12. Got it?
Absolutely right.
呢個係咩畫面啊？
10 seconds.
咩人先？
5, 4, 3.
Thanks for joining us for part 3. We've been teasing you about our new feature all night, and now the wait is finally over. I can reveal that every night on the show, we'll be treated to an episode of an informative and hilarious new segment called The Notice Board. It stars some top talent, and we're very excited about it. But before we see it, let's have a quick chat with the writer, director, and phenomenon, may I say, Jeff Algebra, guys.
Actually, I've dropped the algebra. I go by Jeff DePlume now. How'd you like that?
Well, yeah, very fancy. I suppose you need a new name now that you're a successful artiste.
Well, exactly. I'm earning enough to pay taxes now.
Oh.
It's shit.
And how does
Shit.
Angela feel about all this?
Who?
Your wife.
問老婆，好尷尬。
Oh, God, no. No. No, she's long gone. No, she was holding me back. I'm with Norm now. We were married last month.
Norm de Plume.
Yeah.
And why did you write this? What was your inspiration?
Oh, well, I received a telephone call offering me 25 grand to write a pro-team sitcom, and I heard my father's voice. It said, Jeff, you listen here, boy. You make hay while the sun shines. You wring every penny you can get out of this. So I wheeled him down to the transition centre, got out my typewriter and started clacking. Utter shite.
And without further ado, let's give it up for the notice board.
哎呀，撳先啊！
撳啊喂！
我撳唔到喎頭先，我撳乜都撳唔到喎頭先。點解嘅？
又撳啊，又撳啊！
咦，我撳唔到嘅？咦，我撳唔到嘅？我頭先有撳嘅喎，激咯已經。
Miss Craven?
Oh, morning, Ray.
點解撳唔到嘅？
Miss Craven?
下邊啊咁。
咁啊，下邊嗰
啊
個
笑啊，應該笑。哎呀，
綠色，
應該要笑啊！頂，撳錯咗啊！哦，sorry，唔記得轉畫面。
綠色啊，綠色啊！
哦，橙就係係咪橙色就係錯嘅特登？橙係咩意思咧？
橙色可能中間咯，紅色嘅錯咯，應該。
叫蛋啦。
Don't worry, Mrs. Craven. This is a very supportive community, and I'm sure that in time they will fit into this society like this key into this lock.
橙色係咩咧？點解咁橙定綠咧？試下橙先。
See? Works like a charm.
What a lovely way to put it, Ray. And just like that, we can unlock their future.
Yes, yes. Wow! Look at all the letters in my collection today.
Oh, I think that one's addressed to me.
What? This one? Oh, so you're right.
是 Q 彈，唔撳紅就得㗎啦。
Here it is.
It's a letter from my granddaughter, Brenda. She says she got an A on her maths exam because one of her friends has been helping her. She was always a team player, was our Brenda.
What's up, losers?
啊！撳先啦！
Oh, no. It's Brad. He's the coolest
原來一定要好快。
in the village.
That's right. I just got here on my motorbike.
Oh, clear off, Brad.
亂撳。
We don't want any of your ilk around here.
Rad dudes.
No, ruffians. Have you come to tag the notice
真係個
board
揀
with
喎。
your gang signs?
No way. I've actually come to pin my resume on that notice board. I'm looking to do some tutoring after school.
What did you say? Tutoring?
That's right. Maths is very important. Would you mind, Ray?
Not at all.
笑佢先。
So you, a young person, have been spending your time helping others and not just urinating on churches or huffing glue?
Hey, I haven't huffed glue for months.
Well, blow me down!
You know what? We misjudged you based on how young and cool you are, and not on your.
唔想拍掌啊！成日都好憎拍掌聲。
So it wasn't you who vandalized my shop last night or called me a rancid old crone from the back of a chopper?
No way. It can't have been me. I was too busy helping my
Yeah,
friend
come on,
Brenda with her maths homework.
Could you speak up there? I thought for a minute there that you said Brenda.
I did, you daft old sow.
Did you hear that, Ray?
Oh, yes, what a wonderful surprise. I now respect you as a man.
Put her there, Ray. Oh, what the heck?
係 what？ 喂，等等，地震，咩事？喂，
做咩個掣跳嘅？ 右邊啊？
Sorry to interrupt the first groundbreaking episode of the notice board, but we are receiving some
Hi.
breaking news. I'm being
咦，
told
着緊咩佢哋？
we are picking up
哦，着緊
reports
嘢走咯喎佢哋。
of what appear to be
係咪打仗啊？
what appear to be nuclear
咁懵嘅？
explosions in 4
核
major
爆炸？
foreign cities. Initial estimates put the death toll into they put them into millions.
幾百萬？
I'm being told we're experiencing some power shortages as a result.
死咗幾百萬人喎！
Apologies for the interruption. And apparently we can go live now to team headquarters for an emergency broadcast from Prime Minister Julia Salisbury any moment. Yes, let's go to that now.
Good evening, citizens and leaders of the world. Minutes ago, operatives working for Advance detonated nuclear explosives simultaneously in 4 major cities across the continent.
佢地
We
方
have
㗎。
similar devices
I
in
know.
58 other urban centres. And will not hesitate to investigate and will not hesitate.
We are hearing stories of power fluctuations and what could be minor earthquakes throughout the continent.
係
Stand by.
大家小心。誒，冇咗嘅喂！你做咩嚟？唔緊要，唔緊要。
Contact with
誒
our
又有咯
benefactors in Urkistan and
我
Konosava.
諗住播第二個
Our
添。
equipment seems to be resetting.
咦？喂，你繼續講啊喂！我幫緊你㗎，幫緊你，幫緊你。
Can we get this verified? I need this verified.
冇人哋手上講嘢。
I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you are receiving this.
聽到
but
聽到，
if you
快啲
are,
講
then
你。
You have to know. You have to know what's being done. What's being done right now to our neighbours. This is unprecedented. Our government has committed an act, multiple acts of mass destruction in our name.
黐線㗎！政府係咪黐線㗎？
Nor do I care how you voted. You didn't vote for this. None of us did. This can't be. We are waiting further news and what if they respond?
We will expect your complete acceptance of our terms by midnight tonight.
我覺得佢講嘅嘢好似重要啲，其實佢好似冇嘢講咁啊！你明唔明我意思啊？好似唔重要啊！好似唔重要。
I don't really talk about my personal life in my job.
咦？你講私人嘢啊？
Relevant or important. So many of you may be surprised to learn that I have a brother. His name is David.
係。
And right now I
死咗啊？
can't get his stupid face out of my head.
係咪已經
He's a researcher
確定咗
and
位
he's
置？
currently travelling the continent for work. And I don't know where he is right now. And I should imagine that there are many of you sitting at home tonight digesting this news, and you also have loved ones on the continent. In Urkistan, or Havia, or San Palmerino, or Konoslava, which is where David was when I last spoke to him 3 days ago. So when I tell you I know how you are feeling tonight, believe me, I do. But I also know that there's a flow to events. I see it every day here. I know that although tonight it feels like we may be in a time of fear and darkness, we may actually be at the break of a new dawn. We don't know that yet. We can't know that yet. But together we will find out. And I will be here every night, feeling what you are feeling. And with your help, maybe we can all get to that brave new world. My name's Megan Wolf. Let's make tomorrow better.
我又播同一個廣告。
完啦呢度，
Exactly which cities were hit, or
俾人炒。
咩㗎啊？佢唉。
find him.
Let's make tomorrow better。頭先我哋解鎖咗個，好痛苦啊！
播完反對會唔會有啲咩？
係啊，好快我會出事，我覺得。我哋香港都係，直頭係啦。頭先佢話11% 咧嘅人冇攞嗰張證咧，我想講咧，香港都有差唔多嘅人仲堅持緊冇打針，同香港一模一樣，真係同香港一樣嘅，係未打仗啫。我見到講代理政府之前好似有地方都係咁，唉，好玩多一段。誒，
負債率都係升
咗喎，咦？點解會升咗嘅？哦，因為 PC 升咗啊！我不停咁播旅遊嗰段帶啊，我播3次因為。OK， 多謝你。咦？打斷組織非法。
即係播嗰段片啊？
係啊，有機會。
可以睇翻喎。
係啊，可以睇翻。其實我想睇翻頭先嗰個女人講嘅嘢㗎。建議審查內容，藍色係。對等回應。不知不覺，輪班即將結束啦。期間呢，腦海裏一直重複一句話：先進黨手下嘅特工引爆咗核彈，初步預計死亡係幾百萬。我想有自己屋企嘅車路，完全唔記得自己點樣將車駛返嚟。客廳嘅燈開住，顯然有人未瞓。伴隨住一陣嘅唔知咩聲，你開門呢，就走入客廳。發現 Sam 咧坐喺梳化度，對眼就望住個電視，電視並冇開，顯然咧 Sam 咧喺度出神咁諗住嘢。你喺 Sam 旁邊坐低，手搭喺膊頭度以示安慰。Sam 咧冇擰個頭望住你，但係用雙手緊緊咁捉住你隻手。你靠近之後咧，更清楚睇到 Sam 嘅面啦，佢係一副你未見過嘅神情。哈里斯和蘇時佢哋都係喎，佢哋話佢最後一站係去嗰個地方，好似其中炸嘅地方好似有佢啊，成嗰個啊，成乜乜嗰個啊，好似係有啊，佢兩個死咗啊！
佢咁樣講應該係啦。
我係咪唔應該放佢出去咧？唔放佢出去會唔會好啲呢？我哋點啊？可以點啊？呢群混蛋咧殺咗佢哋兩個，仲殺咗無數其他人，全部都係因為呢場該死嘅戰爭，完全唔係我哋想要。Sam 嘅眼中咧冇淚水，只有怒火，一種無法抑制嘅怒火。我恨佢哋 ，Alex。我知道你一直都唔中意先進黨，但係呢件事發生之後呢，佢哋真係呢成班禽獸咁。我希望你明白，我哋唔能夠再袖手旁觀，一定要做啲嘢。先進黨做咗必須做嘅嘢，為咗保護我哋所有人，佢哋咩都願意做。為此我感到好欣慰。我覺得冇咁簡單，國家正遭受苦難，呢一場戰爭必須結束。呢個中立啦，係嘛？佢哋嘅所作所為無論如何都站唔住腳，凡係試圖咁樣嘅人呢，都係同佢哋一樣壞。Sam 呢，瞬間呢露出釋然嘅表情啦，攤喺你身上緊緊攬住你。顯然呢件事呢，令到 Sam 壓力好大。你都唔確定自己係咪真係完全可以處理好呢件事，但係至少呢，你哋呢會共同渡過難關。Hello，Donald。Hello。打仗啊！你問我咁過咗1個禮拜，總覺得咧自己好似有堆事咧要處理，但係咧到頭嚟又唔記得咗，記憶咧彷彿咧籠罩喺迷霧之中。距離所謂嘅解放之夜同埋先進黨宣布新未來計劃開始已經過咗9日啦。 當你咧到達教堂嘅時，裏面已經人滿為患啦。與你咧一齊哀悼嘅人數好多，令你大吃一驚。每個人嘅面上面都寫住悲傷同埋悵然若失，佢哋咧經歷咗同樣嘅痛苦，出於共同嘅原因，佢哋都嚟教堂哀悼，包括你在內。你遠離人群，想要留一啲私人空間俾自己。你嘅小女兒咧，蘇士同埋哈里斯咧，雙雙咧唔係小女兒喎，佢係咪譯錯？雙雙不幸遇難啊，唔係喎，蘇士係我個女係嘛？佢遊學個女係咪啊？蘇士死咩？唔係佢個妹咩？自從嗰日之後咧 ，Sam 咧幾乎一言不發，所有發生嘅一切咧就好似噩夢咁。但係你無法怪責 Sam，因為咧你嘅精神狀態都唔係咁好。Sam 咧稍無聲息咁樣，悄無聲息咁樣走到你身邊，緊緊咁捉住你嘅手，企圖咧從你身上面吸取力量，安慰自己受傷嘅心靈。你捉翻住你老婆，但係咧你忍唔住自我懷疑，究竟同你有冇關係？籠罩喺呢一個家庭上面嘅陰影唔會咁易消退。死者喺下葬嘅時候，甚至連棺材都冇。蘇士喎，即係我個女喎。我個女係咪出咗去遊學，所以就死咗？
係咪啊？
係咪唔應該俾佢去遊學咧？下次再揀嘅話，唔俾佢遊學，我覺得要。哇！
咪賣腎都唔得掂啊！佢咁
一年呢？學者大批失蹤，我頭一年啊咁就。呢個早晨睇嚟咧，同之前冇乜分別嘅。可以開始工作之後咧，你發現一小群人聚喺休息室。你行入去接今天第一杯茶，一陣咧激動嘅閒談咧傳到你耳仔裏邊。你有冇聽啊？你有冇聽啊？係啊，又有一個人失蹤啊！而家失蹤咗幾多人啊？哇，好似有100啦，並唔係所有都有上報，但係咧可能咧失蹤咗都冇人發現。抱歉咩？發生咩事咧？好沉重啊，氣氛突然間。一位年輕女士咧興高采烈咁行埋嚟。女王士嘅大學有一位教授失蹤啊。上年咧就有好多人失蹤，有科學家啦、博士同埋研究員。佢停一停，跟住壓低聲音講，顯然咧係打斷嗰啲組織做㗎。咁公開講咧，佢哋壞話嘅人都遭殃。我甚至聽講咧，先進黨咧都冇辦法有效阻止。身後咧傳來深層而熟悉嘅聲音，打斷咗你哋嘅對話。你哋喺講咩啊？房間陷入沉默，所有人咧同時轉身望向門口走去。咁啊，老細咧清清喉嚨，然後咧繼續講啦。我話你聽，我唔想聽到啲所謂嘅失蹤案啦。拜託下先進黨已經明確表示咧，唔使擔心佢哋噶啦。但係就係咧，佢講佢哋唔會成為我哋嘅問題，除非咧佢哋咧要將卡布奇諾算做知識分子，否則咧我唔會認為咧大家有咩好擔心。翻去做嘢啦。喺其他人咧匆匆離開房間嘅時候咧，老細咧舉手示意你留低。聽住啊！我知道咧，你做嘢一向好隨心所欲，但係而家情況唔同啦。節目咧而家歸先進黨管，佢哋已經講得好明白噶啦。我而家再重申一次，第一頻道嘅職責咧，宣傳一切盡在政府掌握之中啊！控制輿論啊！佢哋已經唔好橫生枝節。我相信咧，我唔會再聽到關於呢個話題嘅討論。佢草草咁點咗頭之後咧，就走咗啦。睇嚟咧，收歸國有要大行其道啦，成效如何咧就聽天由命啦。TVB、港台，喂，咦？差唔多3年，燎原之火。一覺醒來咧，你驚訝咁發現，咦，着晒火喎！一覺醒來，你驚訝咁發現 Sam 咧瞓喺實邊。Sam 咧尋晚肯定同學校嘅人咧飲得好晚先翻嚟。佢決定俾 Sam 繼續休息，享受一個慵懶嘅朝頭早晨。屋企好靜，你決定咧去客廳食早餐，順便睇電視。而家咧播報一則突發新聞，各地咧紛紛發來報道。 Night of Fire。昨晚呢，大片農田被大火燒毀，當局咧稱呢一場令人髮指嘅恐怖主義行動，同樣係由打斷組織精心策劃，係咪啊？你將隻羹咧放翻去碗燕麥粥嗰度，然後咧較大聲個電視聲。政府消息人士咧話咧，食品店遇襲將給全國範圍內嘅通用菜單中心帶嚟壓力。除此之外咧，喺尋晚嘅襲擊之中咧，好多 CCO 同埋市政建築咧都成為襲擊目標。據首相先生咧，朱利亞索爾點解係先生嘅？朱利亞唔係女人嚟嘅。部分監獄同埋再教育和福祉設施，黐線有再教育營喎！呢個國家竟然有再教育營啊！哇，好恐怖啊！同樣遭到襲擊，少數合法監禁中具有潛在危險嘅問題罪犯呢，遭到強行逼供。你忍住呼吸，豎起耳朵，想知道咧係咪有人受傷？可惜咧 CCO 咧似乎並未咧對此類事件咧做好應對準備嘅。相比之下咧，打斷組織咧則表現得更高效嚴密。好在咧襲擊期時間較夜啊，多數遇襲地點咧都係空無一人嘅，但係咧襲擊發生嘅時候咧，福祉中心咧依然係全員在崗。喺尋晚打斷組織咧發起嘅殘暴襲擊事件裏面咧，17名 CCO 咧同埋4名行政人員咧就死咗啦，傷者不計其數，多人受嚴重重傷，緊急送往醫院。喺衝突裏面咧，多名打斷組織成員咧被逮捕歸案，但多數成員依然在逃。我台咧將跟蹤報導事件後續發展。你走過去熄咗個電視，查理咧走入客廳，打斷咗你嘅思緒。佢好眼瞓咁樣，手裏面攞住一塊麵包。有咩有趣嘅事啊？佢指電視。你冇講嘢，電視循環播放住咧頭先嗰個新聞報導。查理咧就望住個電視，一言不發。報導結束之後咧，屏幕打出火夜兩個字，冇有事，係咪啊？冇事㗎。差唔多3年，咁就3年。發明時光機後，即可跳過再入畫面。咩嚟㗎？呢個畫面可以跳過。起義篇，起義啦！解放之夜1年半後，睇唔睇到？睇唔到 ？Yes。我點認嘅？
係咪有邊點啊？
咦，有帶喎喂！邊度啊？我呢度。我先。
Throughout this broadcast, we're going to ask you to do things that will directly help with this mass protest. I'll be talking to you regularly tonight, and I'll also be hacking you when I can. Please help get our message out.
呢部 PS 嘅？
唔係入邊個嚟啊？
冇咩啊？你講咩啊？
有標餅帶唔入。
擺第幾格啊？我第2。好。個 PS 嘅。
What have you got to lose?
My reputation.
It's all right once you get
係咪
past
冇
the
PS 啊？
problematic
呢個係咩嚟㗎？你講呢個係咪我嗰個啊？呢個係 PS 啊？是但啦，好似係。
Oh, it's David's thing.
19秒。
佢話咩9點鐘播啊？
佢話第2段時段啊嘛，佢好似係咁講。幾點而家？好嘅。
Too short.
Too smart.
好，準備。
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News, broadcasting across the territories. My name is Megan Wolf.
Megan
Our
好似
top
肥咗
story
咁啊！突然
tonight,
間。
Ashes to ashes. It's been 40 days since Disrupt conducted attacks across the territories. The coordinated action, dubbed the Night of Fire by commentators, was seen as an attempt to subvert the supply chain, but there may have been more to it. While emergency services were all kept busy at the agricultural centres, it seems a series of covert attacks was carried out, including the freeing of political prisoners and, sources say, several assassination attempts.
我今次再幫佢哋嘅話，我覺得我死硬。而家政府管喎。
With the last of the menu centres opening in territories 5, 8 and 14 today, Advance confirmed that the program
我應該喺度做緊咧我自殺嘅一個
What started as rationing during the 20s
自殺結局
blossomed into a social contract that is the envy of the unaware.
自己攞嚟嘅結局。
Jack Tractorpants, spokesman for the menu centres, said today that while they can guarantee the content
每個供應商裏邊咧都充滿營養嘅，全部都係罐頭啊！實際係完全冇新鮮菜，淨係得罐頭。
Problems in territories 11, 17 and 22 today as striking
to
undermine their new economies. With seemingly no awareness of irony, the former CEOs and MDs have come together to form the Wealth Creators Union, with demands including a return to 150% bonuses, and mandatory grovelling zones. Advance have been quick to respond, saying if they would rather quit their cushy jobs to become nurses or teachers, they'll earn significantly more than they used to pay their own workforce. Thus far, no one has taken up the challenge. Some fun now. Signs of ever more resistance to Advance's radical policies today, as popular resistance movement Disrupt extended their reach further across the territories. The organisation's emblem appeared in every major city across the territories last night in a well-coordinated publicity stunt, which has seen them dominate.
用光射上去喎，見唔見啊？
Asked about the
投影射上去。
display earlier today, Disrupt spokesperson Alan James said that the movement was reaching what he described as a critical mass.
實際而家真係有喎。
Choice of words given recent history. And an ending of sorts tonight for 3 stories we've been following. Goings underground. Sophia Remington was forced to resign today after evidence emerged of horrifying troglodyte creatures living in her low-cost subterranean housing development. A typically defiant Sophia, quoted while leaving Remington's Fist headquarters for what we can safely assume is the final time, said, "The mole people are no threat to the company, and there's not a lawyer among them who can say otherwise."
我覺得咧，如果我再重玩咧，我將前面嗰啲廣告全部都係 PS 廣告，咁然後我應該就會好有錢，有錢走啊，可能我就會有錢走啊。一樣都係，自己大家。跟住我就可能夠錢，然後離開呢個國家，有機會，會唔會啦？其中一個結局就係我唔使幫佢打工啦。
It seems the bloodthirsty brainiacs have found a rather gruesome solution to the problem. Although, ironically, the bigger the wall, the less they needed. Full time, the sporting world mourned the loss of a former hero today at the funeral of footballing star Johnny Hansleaves. Dogged by controversy throughout his life, the troubled striker's behaviour became more and more erratic in recent years. His tragic and avoidable death at the age of just 29 will come as a blow to his literally tens of fans around the world. All that, plus we'll be taking a trip to Dangley Parts for the notice board, as well as getting a sneak peek at the hottest ticket in town. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
又嚟啦！
Today is the day we take back control. Soon it will be time for you to help us again.
我死下啦！
Block the traffic. Bring the capital to a standstill.
佔中啊！
I've met so many of you in my travels up and down Territory 1. You always ask the same question. How can I help? Well, this is how. And as for when, you'll know. Keep watching.
有翻啲。
But first, 500 days of a fine leader and a great man. The start of tonight's programme is dedicated to remembering and celebrating the life of Peter Clement. Patrick Bannon is live from Parliament Park, where Julia Salisbury will be breaking ground on what will soon be a memorial garden in Peter's honour. Patrick.
Listening to that old bitch lying through her teeth about missing that poor bastard.
Patrick.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
We're live.
Because I'm not being funny. Things were better with Peter, weren't they?
Patrick.
They were, and I don't mind saying it. They were, because he held her back. But now there's no stopping her.
Patrick, we're
Of
live.
course, can't say that, can I, Francis? No.
我死下啦！
No, with public ownership, you can't say anything these days. She's lost it, mate. She's completely off the rocker. I heard from an aide that... Hello, Megan. You join me here live from the what? Oh.
播晒。
聽啲高波噃。
Signal there for a moment. Well, we will be going live. Groundbreaking ceremony.
好得意。
We can get Patrick back. Meanwhile, let me just say, I think the memorial gardens are going to be gorgeous. I've had a sneak peek at the designs and Alana Marsh has
恭
done
喜
a
你，
fabulous
你俾人
job.
炒啦！
Oh, okay,
你
right.
你先俾人炒多過我，
We can now go live.
你炒你都未炒我。
3
Patrick. Thank you, Megan. I'm Patrick Bannon, and we are indeed live here.
佢係咪？
換咗頭先嗰個。
係啊，佢係咪臨時拉夫稅好驚啊？唔知講咩好啊！
佢唔係。
我係臨時，我其實都唔知發生咩事。都似素材未剪好。啊？哦係。睇起嚟好似一個衰人咁要。
點樣令到佢變衰人？
唔剪可能。
即係佢講啲衰嘢。
係唔剪。
Still reeling from the triumphs and tribulations of Liberation Night, another great loss befell the people of these newly united territories.
右邊啊，係嘛？
The loss of a leader, a statesman, a dear friend, and a hero. Peter Gordon Clement.
Peter's death at the age of just 62, of course, announced by
死咗啦
on the 24th of December, just 6 weeks after Liberation Night.
Born to a working-class family on a housing estate in Rotherham,
應該撳邊個咧？一定
trained as
嘅
a。carpenter before getting his start on television. First moving and building scenery, and then developing into the personality that we all knew and loved so much.
Just the Job first hit our screens over 25 years ago, running for 11 series, winning multiple awards, and charming audiences up and down the country.
好難入，
Peter taught us,
好難入。
all of us, not to be content with the way things are. Not to accept inequities, no matter how small. But he also taught us what it took to fight them.
講粗口嗰啲。
Courage, integrity,
鬧人。
empathy, and hard bloody graft.
Across a career
spanning
spanning 3 decades, Peter Clement was known for shows including Wake Up, It's Saturday, and much later, late night show PT, which
呢個播，佢踢燈啊！我唔播你。
He's a saint. Trust me, he once told me he had more regrets than he'd had stolen dinners. He always did have a knack for a turn of phrase. But it speaks to
好 sad 啊！好 sad， 哎食煙喎！咦掉哎呀播唔似佢掉紙添，兩個都幾差喎，兩個都。 好似講粗口咁，花咁影住我啦，花。係咪嗰啲 feel 嚟
？It's estimated conservatively that Peter Clement uttered over 1.5 million swear words during his career, though some sources put this figure well in excess of 2 million F-bombs alone.
Gripped by illness,
呢個鬧人，好冇禮貌，好冇禮貌鬧。唔播，哎打人要播。食煙啊嗱你。
Spark of wit and wisdom of a life lived for others.
啊講粗口講粗口。
Prime Minister Clement, of course, died
講粗口啦，推開佢。
After suffering from the long-term effects of alcohol abuse.
嗱推啦，推鏡頭，唔播住。
I first met Peter nearly 20 years ago. Moment before I was supposed to give a speech. Not unlike this one, actually. Only I'd
係邊個嚟㗎呢個人？
coffee all down myself. I was young, nervous, desperate to be liked, and from behind me I heard, "Christ, Pet, you've either pissed your keks or sprung a leak, but either way you got a problem." And before I could even say a word, he stripped off his dry trousers and insisted I took
呢個，剪咗佢。 唔要
That was the
剪
sort
咗
of。man that Peter Clement was. Kind, compassionate, sensitive,
瘋狂咁飲酒，
a brilliant thinker,
好差形象，好差。
but mostly a good man.
唔覺咯，鬧緊人啊 ！good man good 嚟嘅頭，唔播。邊個好啲啊？呢個係咪衰啲啊？呢個樣係嘛？播個衰啲，搞掂。
There'll be another opportunity to steer public perception soon.
做得
It's
好。
really starting. You'll know when.
His accomplishments, the future he forged, the boundaries he pushed.
你要轉㗎？
To me, he'll always be the man in his pants cheering on a stranger at the back of the conference. It is my great honour to give to you the Peter Clement Memorial Garden. Shall we see if we can get a countdown going? Everyone with me? 10, 9, 8, 7.
係。
Now, Alex, control the message.
我唔 control。咦？俾人噴緊喎！噴佢！
Don't panic. Help us here.
唔好播佢。啊，鎖住佢啱啦。睇呢個。
Okay. You two stay with him. Mom, we have room.
No resistance.
國家暴行，唔食。
I said turn the fucking camera off.
哇！我又死唔緊啊！你做乜講 fucking 啊？突然間。
Who the fuck are you?
I can't hear you. I can't hear anything.
Medics are coming. You sit down.
好粗暴，佢好粗暴啊！佢。
National nightly news. I need help now.
你唔好扮嘢啦！你唔係好人咯。
Still here. Julius Goldsbury.
Target approaching Songbird.
哇！佢舉槍喎，佢舉槍好恐怖，非常恐怖啊！
Justice demands a response.
Haven't you done enough? Look around you. This is what your precious freedom looks like, isn't it?
哇！ 我係唔會播你好好人嗰個樣㗎，我唔會播。哇！佢俾槍，
I said lower your weapons.
我唔會播你，叫佢唔好開槍㗎。佢殺晒所有人啦！
Shut it off. I said turn it off.
啱啦，冇錯啦。咦
Is this not enough? You've just seen them execute unarmed civilians. People like
見到啊，見到啊！佢哋開槍啊！佢扮晒嘢，仲話要
What will it take for you to get up and be a part of this?
佢扮晒嘢話唔好死，
Headquarters, storm the building,
扮晒嘢仲喺
demand
度
elections, demand answers.
搞到死。
Be what you're born to be, the once and future free.
By now. Don't go away. We'll be back after this.
OK。
Does anyone know if everyone's safe? Are the crew okay?
Thank you, Alex. From all of us, you're doing great.
唔好客氣，我死硬啊！我就死啦，我 feel 到，好快要坐監。可能我都要死添啊！可能下一秒咧，嗰啲 CCO 嘅行入嚟扮瓜我。
點解做咗咁多嘢都冇嘅？
哎呀，耶！
冇人入嚟未？
好快啦，我覺得我就快扮瓜我噶啦，唔係好咩噶啦，都唔需要諗，我肯定死硬。聽下個廣告講乜啦？其實有幾多個結局？有好似話10幾個啊！我上網睇過。Megan 隔離有個人喎，係咪差啲俾人打？有位攝影師係我哋嘅人，佢將發送一個編碼位置，我唔知道佢用邊一台攝錄機，只要釘緊拳頭標誌就得啦，讓佢播出至少5秒，剩下就交俾我哋嘅特工。好，我會加油噶啦。釘緊拳頭標誌，
未有啊！
我先要揀咗先。 Megan 畫面先，通常佢講嘢先。
主持啊嘛。
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, Megan Wolf.
Hi.
Very shortly, we'll be heading on over to the final episode of what has quickly become a hugely successful.
你要睇埋第4咯，好忙咯。
Before we do, let's chat with Philippa Radin. Tell me, why do you think the public love the notice boards so much?
It's real. There, I said it. It connects with people. You know, people look at us and they say those are real people struggling with real problems.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to my PA secretary as I got out the limo, I was saying, it's good for people to see normal, authentic people like them on TV.
People like you.
Yeah, precisely. Unfortunately, then I was interrupted by some dreadful wretch who wanted an autograph, but a swift kicking from security soon put him back in line.
Yes, well, I think it's really good that our screens are filled with such relatable stories. So, the notice board is coming to an end after a sensational time at the top. What do you think has made this show so successful?
It's a combination of so many things. My hard work, my talent, my look.
Wow, we have a lot to thank you for.
Hey. You're welcome.
We've just heard our man's on camera for
4號，好。
I have a real sense of responsibility now.
1、2、
Since I've been
3、4、5，乜？
Yeah, I think that's really important.
夠唔夠5秒啊？
That we should use this platform to do good in the world. I agree.
That's exactly
it. So I've decided to help as many.
Excellent work, Alex. That's the location shared. Next, you'll need to give them the go.
Better access to education or
我點整個行動代碼？
No, by adopting as many as I can get my hands on.
Oh, okay. How many children have you adopted?
Oh,
呢邊有冇㗎？
well into the double figures now, Megan. I stopped counting in the late 30s.
Goodness, that is a lot of children.
Yeah, once we finish putting them into the guest room, I'll have to put a futon in the laundry cupboard.
Oh, you really are some sort of hero.
Hey, I live a privileged life. What can I say? Any child I can take on is a child rescued from suffering.
唔錯先。
Poor children. Were their lives really that bad before?
Oh, they're Normans, I presume so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's shocking to think, actually, that only 1 in 10,000 children have a celebrity parent.
I've never thought of it that way before.
And I'm doing everything I can to fix those numbers.
What do you think it is about your life that's so desirable, then?
Well, it's mainly shame and panic interspersed with expensive bottled water, so actually, if anyone wants to, I'd happily trade.
Now that I can relate to. Right, you better go off and get ready. That was Philippa Radin sharing some thoughts about her lifestyle. I think it's really important to stay grounded and keep everything in perspective. Clearly, not everyone else agrees, but that's enough from me. Let's go now over to Dangling Hearts for the final ever episode of the Notice Board.
呢個啊要啊，1啊。
佢有綠色嘅嘛嗰個。
我知，但係又唔可以太多。
And now to post this notice. I don't know how I managed to cope with it all. Oh wait, perhaps I do.
佢又唔可以太長，空住同一個位，不停咁轉咧，佢會快啲高㗎。是但啦。
By Saint Barnabas, what on earth is all this?
Freeze, dirtbag!
是但啦，一撳切。
Laura, it's you. I thought for a moment you were a knife-wielding mugger or stabber.
No, I'm afraid not. It's just me, a community cohesion officer, responsible for keeping crime at record lows.
Of course. Keep forgetting that thanks to you and your colleagues, violence on our streets is a thing of the past.
What's all this, Vicar?
I know. It's a disgrace.
It's time for the go code. Give us
Wait.
噓聲啊？呢個啊？
That will start the pincer movement. You might just
3次噓聲。
3 balls, Alex.
Careful, Vicar.
佢聲係咪手指向下嗰個？
我唔知喎，呢個。
Reverend ripped for no reason.
Yes.
It's no good.
It looks like all those crucifix classes were a waste of time.
Perhaps you, a young CCO, would be able to use it.
2 for 2. Fantastic.
It looks like all those lifting classes were a waste of time.
It's too heavy, even for me, a strong
You did it, Alex. We're good to go.
and lift this.
Did someone call for the best firefighter in town?
點解別咗嘅頭先？
Well done, Captain Evans. You're so much stronger than us.
Especially me, the weak old man.
It's the least I could do for my community.
No luck catching the little devil then?
Unfortunately not. The ferret struck again last night. When Ray opened the post office this morning, he found that every single stamp had been pre-licked.
My God!
Some people have no decency.
Sadly, if we don't catch him before tomorrow, we may have to cancel the village fete.
Don't worry. We won't let that happen. Will we, Vicar?
No, no, no. Laura, tell me, why do they call him the ferret?
Some say it's because of his sneaky nature. But really it's because whenever he strikes, he always leaves behind the foul stench of urine.
Never fear, officer. We'll catch this pissy nuisance and save the village fate. Or my name's not Captain Danger. The community cohesion team are doing their best, but they simply don't have the smarts to solve this mystery. But I know someone who does. Someone who's about to blow this thing wide open. Me! Blackout!
冇啱喎。
It's the morning of the village fete, thanks to theatrical convention.
I sure hope everything goes to plan. Oh, look! There's Mrs. Craven setting up her cake stall.
And look, there's the motorcycle display team, setting up for a show that will be far too expensive for live television.
I'm going to set up the coconut shy. What are you doing, Vicar?
First, I'm running the tombola. Then, I'll be selling forgiveness for money.
Aren't you judging the jams?
I couldn't possibly.
Well, that sounded like Mrs. Craven. Looks like someone sucked
He's
all
lighting.
the jam out of her donuts.
That damn ferret has struck again.
Whatever are we to do?
Although I'm very competent, I have no idea how to solve this case.
I guess we'll just
瘋狂轉啊！
cancel the fate.
Hold it right there, ferret.
Me? Have you been drinking from the fire extinguishers again?
Not you, the vicar.
Wait.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Admit it. You wanted the village fete cancelled so you could have the day off, didn't you?
I already have to work Sundays. I shouldn't have to work 2 days a week.
But how did you know?
Well, my first clue was the smell.
Yes, I do smell of urine.
Next, I noticed that the vicar's tongue was particularly dry, almost as if he'd been licking thousands and thousands of stamps.
Or perhaps eating
Don't worry.
Mrs. Craven's baking.
Which brings me on to my third clue. The vicar said that he had no more room for jam.
Almost as if he'd had his fill.
Precisely.
But you managed to figure it all out from that?
Well, I also found this at the scene.
That proves nothing. No!
Get him out of here, officer!
You did it, Captain. You could say you ferreted him out.
咁晒橙色。
Hey, come on. Let's go and have a party in my massive garden. I am doing well.
Thanks to you, we're all doing well. That was it, the final ever episode of the notice board, and what a way to end it. Thank you as always to Jeff, Philippa and Tommy. After the break,
B 咯喎，B 咯喎。
learning, so don't change that channel. We'll be right back.
That's the ads. Well done, everybody.
B 咯。
What a brilliant run, eh? After party at my place, eh? Yeah?
Alex, this station is supposed to be unbiased. Your partisan behavior will end up getting us taken into public ownership even sooner. Less revolutionary zeal. Do your job.
And how progressive their policies are. Well, I was wrong. And I'm here tonight to say I'm sorry.
紅晒。
And to beg for your forgiveness.
One last push, Alex.
你成功我死硬喎，問
The guest
佢
in the last section is working with us. You'll be
最後一位嘉賓係我哋合作伙伴。
If you do it right, the final orders will be given.
OK。
You'll get 3 chances. At least 2 of them right.
兩次機會就可以大獲全勝啦。哎呀，好緊張。
Alex, tonight we take it back.
So when Advance came to power, I didn't think about the damage they would do. I acted selfishly. I was glad to see the rich punished.
就係咁先。
I didn't see how backwards Advance were. I didn't understand that rather than tearing down the wealth creators, we should have been helping everyone else to take a seat at their table. Under Advance, the country is poorer. It is poorer in ambition. It is poorer in aspiration. We are infantilized by Advance's naive policies.
Please, Sarah,
Policies born from
Mum, I'm really not supposed to say.
absurd, redistributive fantasies.
Jenny just said to ask if you need any touch-up.
I have whored myself out to the media to defend
Media
the
bit.
indefensible.
Shade, is it?
Yeah.
This is
I
my
have
shade.
betrayed my parents. I see that now.
其中呢啲人係我哋啲人嚟嘅喎。
其中一個
Dad,
係邊個咧？
I'm sorry.
哇！
Our only hope.
Sorry about that, Sarah.
Nothing.
要唔要補妝？No。
Now lies.
Megan 都肥肥幾大啊！
What's wrong with you?
She is in tears. Going in 5, 4.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News.
Welcome back
Later in
to
this
the
segment,
National
we're
Nightly
hoping
News.
to be able to go
Later
back
in
to
this
Patrick
segment,
Murray.
we're
We're
ready.
the scene of tonight's shocking disrupt attack. But first, I'm delighted to be joined by the cast of the smash hit musical everyone is talking about. I'll be speaking with the cast in a moment, but
演員訪
let's
談
take a look at them in action.
睇佢哋嘅表演。
National
拍手
Nightly welcome to the Novaries.
轉啊！
Hello? Doctor? Yes, I see. Thank you for letting me know. I have a decent life. I'm a happy, loving wife. And my job is well paid and fulfilling. I have a husband, John. He's due home soon, won't be long. And I have to tell him something that is absolutely chilling.
唔得喎，跟唔到佢拍子喎。
In the morning, and we make love every day. We take time alone together to talk and laugh and play. We prioritize our needs.
哇哇！地震啊！
Charitable deeds, but the flowers of a happy life are now beset by me.
I'm home.
Oh, darling John, oh, dearest John, there's something very wrong.
哇，好難跟拍子。
兩次機會。
唔知啊。我睇唔出邊度喎個機會，可唔可以提下我？
How can this be? Oh, woe is me. Why has this happened to me? I always wear 2 condoms for the maximum of
Safety in our tiny flat, we built a peaceful habitat. Now our lives are fucked, we're having a baby.
點解 fuck 啊你？
Now you can't have any wine at book club.
And there won't be any time for foot rubs.
Now your hair will stink of weed.
And you'll start to disagree.
And forget about that holiday in terror.
mandatory-free. No more waking up at 10:30. In fact, you're never going to get a good night's sleep again. No more snap decisions to go on to a club. You'll be lucky if you even make it out to the pub. Why can't we be more like our gay and lesbian chums? The only glue they have to deal with comes from personal bums. Now when I take a sick day at home, the parasite won't leave you alone. How he's grown!
錯晒添，好似唔夠。加翻上去先，亂撳。
We're having a baby. We're having a baby. Changing nappies daily. We're having a baby. No more weekends by the coast.
邊個先係我哋嘅？係錯晒添。唔撳啊，好攰。睇一睇先。唔得，呢啲拍子好難接，佢時快時慢啊！你明唔明啊？
咩機會啊？
咩機會？邊度啊？
就冇。
set。
轉翻搖。
咩意思啊？
呢
度又要撳嘅咩？原來。
From Energy for a Childless Life, which is currently the hottest ticket in the capital theatre district, and will be touring the territories later this year. Right then, come on, you got, come on down, let's go, don't be shy.
係咪訪問佢哋乜嘢？
It's an honour to be here. Oh, really? Are you fans of the show? Yeah, used to be. Well, listen, let's get stuck in. Your amazing musical. Now, I mean, not only do you perform this show every single night,
with matinees on Wednesday and Saturday.
Right, but you're also the show's creators, am I right?
Well, everyone contributed their ideas, and then some of us went away and did the actual work on the script. But no, it's very much a team effort.
Oh, that's
出邊打緊仗，仲喺度睇電
I've
視。
not introduced any of you. I'll be the one being replaced next. Let's go down the line, shall we?
Hi, I'm Jack.
Jim Blunt. Pleasure to be here.
Jennifer Boren Woodley.
Hello, I'm John Sapley. Used to be in the business professionally.
My name's Jill, with a J.
And I'm Janet. I'm the youngest.
That's incredible. And you were all friends previously. I mean, what a coincidence, right? With your names beginning with a J.
Oh my goodness, guys! Our names all begin with J.
How have we never noticed that?
Because you haven't typed them out 1,000 times, maybe?
You knew? Why didn't you say anything?
I thought we all knew. It's bloody obvious, isn't it? I just thought we were doing a funny thing where we never mentioned it.
And I believe as well as being friends, you're also couples. In real life as well as in the show.
Well, not exactly.
I'm not married to him. I'm with Janet.
And I'm with John, you lucky bean.
Jim and I are married.
4 fabulous years.
Well, that must make for some confusion in the rehearsal room.
Well, you should have seen the first draft. Jen decided that Jack would play Jim, I would play Jack, Jen Janet, Jill Jen, Janet Jill.
What about John?
Well, my character was originally just called Man 1.
It was allegorical.
It was very confusing.
Not
professional.
After much toing and froing.
And gnashing and wailing.
And gin and tonic.
We decided that we'd just use our own names, which is less truthful.
We're also less likely to go into the wrong dressing rooms.
Oh god, yeah, that would be very embarrassing, wouldn't it? Of course, when I first wrote it, we were only meant to run for a few nights at the Minley Village Hall, but when I registered it with the Department for Culture, it caught the eye of someone high up, and before you could say overnight sensation, we were transferring to the capital.
It's all been a bit of a roller coaster, really. I'm only 19. I'm the youngest.
You really don't have to repeat that.
I had to give up my job as a mortuary technician.
Well, yes, we all had to move to the capital.
I love that job.
It's been a very turbulent time.
So peaceful. No singing.
This piece isn't.
Stand by, Alex. Censor the orange.
審查橙色按鈕
And why you shouldn't have
咩啊？
In a way, I guess it is political, with a small p. After all, we are a solid unit.
Oh, my,
and
you got
eagle-eyed audience members will see we nod our heads to advance on stage throughout. And we target the messaging at women aged 22, well, about 35. As they are most likely to be afflicted by this terrible problem.
我撳緊，我唔得閒喎，
Terrible
跌緊啊喂！
having children.
You understand, Megan.
You clearly agree. This isn't about me. Of course, we see that there are advantages to a family unit, but eagle-eyed couples watch as the little parasites advance
哇，
in
我
their lives.
唔得閒
And
轉
there's
畫
no
面，
time to
喂
play
喂
the guitar, get through a book, or watch a movie. They're exhausted past
撳 Q 晒佢，
20 to 9, for God's sake.
You're very chatty tonight, dear.
Usually I'm the
好啱唔啱㗎？其實撳走，
You're the youngest.
你其實係唔使撳㗎。
It's not a badge of honor.
你幫有冇睇啊？你幫我睇啲畫啲對白，
Oh, well said, John. Thanks, Jack. Got you back.
So could you just tell us
你係唔應該撳咩？
is the play about?
你幫我睇字幕。
Yes. Well, go ahead. It's a tragedy, obviously. Jennifer, myself, and John have their child, and then the story charts the downfall of their hopes and dreams.
And there's lots of singing.
And dancing.
A lot.
My character works at a menu centre
唔
for
撳
a
啦。
distribution unit. Eagle-eyed, she sees her friend's rapid advance to a pit of despair. Becoming a target for children's TV advertising at the age of 22, she decides to take drastic action. I can't really say more, though. I probably said too much already.
Yes. Let's not spoil the second act for anyone who might come to see it.
Which should be all of you. For too long, we've been told that a
咦
life without children
橙色係幫佢哋嘅喎，
incomplete, that
係咪
children
啊
are a blessing.
我係咪唔應該撳走啊？
Well, I've done the
睇緊
research
啊，
and they're not.
應該係
Besides, there's what already
我唔應該撳走啊原來。
around all over the place, so.
We just want people to have the option of a happy, child-free life without stigma.
咁唔怪之佢哋兩個喺度
You
傾
know,
緊偈啦。
when I was 14, before I had come out, I had an experience with a girl called Julia Jacobs. She was an experiment, I guess, you know, a chance to dip my toe.
橙色我係唔應該撳。
Well, thank you all so much for coming in tonight. I really hope to keep them dancing in the aisles for many performances to come. The noble pair. And I am pleased to say we can now go back to Patrick Bannon to
死
get
啦
the latest from！
我
the
幫
scene
我
of
我幫唔到佢哋添，
tonight's
點算啊？
Patrick, you okay?
重玩啊！
Thank you, Megan. This is Patrick Bannon reporting from the scene of tonight's
仲咁傷嘅你？
and symbolic attack tonight this evening. An attack which I myself have been found myself caught up in. I'm still a little dazed and a little deaf, Megan. So I hope you'll forgive
佢咪話
me
唔
if I
3次成功2次就得啊嘛？其實我係咪一陣間仲有機會？
Firstly, that's you. You're still here. The Prime Minister.
I couldn't leave, not when there were people that needed help. Any team player would have done the same. I don't deserve praise for being human.
Yes, no accolades here. Or Palisades. Or lemonade. Right.
唔
So,
好
is
笑啦
the situation... Now, are we safe?
Yes, the security services performed their duties without hesitation. And I would like to assure the public that although there have been some injuries, there were no civilian deaths here this evening.
Oh, that's good news about the Sorry, did you say no deaths?
That's right.
後邊有，
civilian
後邊
deaths. Just the 4 disrupt terrorists curtailed by law enforcement who were, as always, so...
哇哇震啊喂！
If I may, I have a message for your viewers.
Of course, the camera... There's... Speak there, on the camera there.
Stay at home tonight. not become another casualty of war. Disrupt have had their moment, but as the dear departed Peter Clements once famously said, it ends today.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for those strong words of strength. Back to the studio. Megan, now in studio with Megan Wolf now.
Patrick Bannon there, bravely reporting from the front line of tonight's
Again.
horrifying bombing. Maybe you need to get checked out, Patrick.
What?
Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's National Night News. But before we go,
A victory is in sight, my friends. You have mobilized. You have come together. From our agents at the television networks risking arrest and getting those words to you, to the many hundreds and thousands gathering to invade team headquarters. As I speak, we are turning the tide, and it is time for change. Tonight we topple their regime, and we also silence their mouthpiece. Channel 1. Time to wake up.
out from the shadows, and they are not
個自動喐嘅呢度。
powerful they would have you believe. The military have been actioned, and well, it's pretty scary out there tonight. So stay at home and stay with Channel 1, because the team has assured this program that the turbulence will soon be over, and we can once again focus our minds on building the new future with equality, fairness, and resources for all. My name is Megan Wolf. Let's make tomorrow better.
Yeah.
And we're out. I threw up a bit in my mouth.
撳咗撳咗撳咗。
Alex, tonight is the beginning of the fall.
嚇！我做到啦，我唔係撳走晒咩？一個唔小心。我做到啦，但有冇人嚟救我啊 ？Help！ 你唔好打！啊！冧咗啦電視台。我覺得我要走啦，我有危險啊！我有危險啊！輸咗啦！哦，係咪輸咗啊？
衰啊！
還沒達到收支平衡，耶！果然係瘋狂咁，佢撳 PC 嘅廣告就啱噶啦，原來。耶！好耶！世界我覺得橙色係應該要撳，好似係講先進黨好，我唔知我都冇睇到。但係頭先有幾句我見佢話我哋咧被洗腦咁樣，我都唔知係真係應該。同埋呢幾個人唔係我哋嘅人咩？你明唔明啊？
但咁佢冇理由睇咁橙色嘅，
幫橙色嘅，所以就會係橙色係咪？而且藍色應該，但係唔係喎。之前係藍色，之前係撳，我係冇撳藍色，今次係咪應該撳走橙色咧？唔係話有人係我哋嘅人咩？係咪定係翻譯得唔係咁好啊？好啦，休息啦，我都唔知佢想點啊。夜啦，我就知道，下次繼續，下次應該玩晒啦。因為隻 game 好似係9至10個鐘，大概。唉，我收支平衡啦耶！原來賺錢係要靠賣廣告啊！我終於知道發生咩事啊！
都賺唔到錢嘅咧。
好嘢！我賺到錢啦！我應該有錢可以離開呢個國家啦啩，但係收支平衡唔到啊都。但係我唔使賣腎啊嘛，都 OK 啦。好啦，早唞啦各位。早唞二零，世界當頭好。
拜拜。
仲有咩人咧都話早唞啦各位，早唞。未平衡㗎，唔使賣腎咋。早唞個啦，拜拜。